1. Okie dokie. It says live on here. We might have to update the phone app thing, but that happens. Oh, it looks good. Happy days. Hello, everybody. Welcome back for part 2 of season 1. It's so confusing when you say things like that together. Of Marble Hornets, one of the oldest analog horrors out there. Perhaps maybe even the grandfather. I would kind of argue. I feel like it's definitely one of the first. Like no doubt about that. That kind of started this whole creepypasta crazy genre stuff. Well, I don't know about creepypasta. I don't know if it was the first creepypasta. That's not quite true. But we could discuss that another time, I'm sure, with Jordan's help especially. So, hi everybody. This is Nathan, joined yet again by Jordan.
Hey there, it's Jordan.
Let's go ahead and we'll catch up a chat, and then we're going to hit everybody with a recap. So, looks like we got Tim Jim. Hi, woohoo, good to see you. Chaos, fantastic, good to see you. Highlight your week. Very nice to say, very sweet. Your cats also love it, That's great. Happy Guy, excellent, good to see you. Owen Ball, fantastic. Got a couple of people to start with, that's nice. So, Marble Hornets. Weird name, crazy title. I'm sure we could debunk that as well, but, I think that kind of comes up a little bit later if I'm entirely remembering. Oh, even Mum and Ellie. Excellent. We got people.
Good, Ellie's here. Hi there, Ellie.
Let me know if we need to adjust anything. Don't worry, I can always adjust stuff on the fly if you need audio levels and stuff played with. But things should be a little bit better this time. He's got a webcam too. It's really cool. So,
yep,
Jordan,
Nathan,
why don't you go ahead and hit us with a recap of up to about entry 18, because we're going to rewatch entry 18 because that's a pivotal point in season 1.
All right. So, to the best of my abilities, we start like in the year 2006. A student filmmaker by the name of Alex Crayley wanted to make a movie. It just for schoolwork or whatever it was, but so he got a camera and he got a lot of tapes and he just started filming it with his friends. Something went wrong with it, and so he abandoned the film altogether, abandoned the tapes. His plan was to burn them, but his colleague slash friend Jay asked if he could keep the tapes because he hated to see all this work go to waste. And with some hesitation, Alex relented. He gave him the tapes. And Jay kind of, like his life got busy, he kind of forgot about the tapes for 3 years, and in 2009, he remembered the tapes, he rediscovered them, and began looking through them. Excuse me. And, sorry. He began looking through them, noticing that there was some oddities he couldn't really explain, and he began uploading those onto YouTube. And so, for the most part, the series, as we've been watching it, has been the footage of Alex Crayley and his friends in 2006. We've been seeing the filming of this film, and we've been seeing a strange man, often in the background, and whenever the man is involved, the camera seems to mess up. Something strange is going on. And Jay can't explain this, and Alex seems to be getting more and more irritable as the filming is going on. And Jay begins to get a little bit worried. And so some details, you'll have to watch the first stream in order to get those. But so fast forward, now it's probably about 2010 or so. Jay's been doing this for some time. And for one thing, it was 2 points, but for one thing, some other YouTube channel by the name of Totheark has began responding to Jay's videos. They've been cryptic, they've been kind of knowing, they've been kind of relevant to what he's been watching, but there's been no real explanation so far. And second of all, Jay has begun a proper investigation in the present day, which is about 2010 or so. He began by meeting with one of the actors from Marble Hornets, who goes by the name of Tim, because that is his name. He's met with Tim, gotten some general feedback. He didn't let Tim know what he was actually up to, but but Tim basically just confirmed a lot of suspicions that like Alex was acting a bit strange, that he was using way too many tapes, But Tim couldn't really ultimately give him that much information. But then Jay receives an anonymous tip to where he can find the house of another of the original actors, Brian. He goes to Brian's house. There's no one there. And there's strange noises inside, but he doesn't find much. He finds some strange papers. He finds a doll. He finds like a bullet casing and some pills. And then Totheark responds with something kind of pleading for him to come back and return to that house. And so Jay does return to that house. And Nathan, I understand that we're going to start by watching that video again. So we'll the video where Jay returns to the house. So I think that would be a good segue.
Absolutely. Because in my opinion, like we discussed last stream, as you mentioned, this is quite an important moment in season 1. Because as you mentioned, there's this bizarro entity, Totheark, which is a completely separate YouTube channel, comes out of nowhere. Which back in the day of the 2000s, YouTube had a thing called video responses, and video responses were only allowed by the creators of the channel. That it's like a way to push you to a different video, right? But they have to choose the video specifically. It's not like how YouTube nowadays is like, oh, go watch this because you're gonna like that. It's like, no, the creators chose it specifically, and out of the blue, Totheark videos start kind of appearing in these video responses, and it's like, it's kind of weird. There's no explanation. It's kind of weird, bit of a decoding mystery, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. A lot of it looks like it's a bit avant-garde, a bit weirdy, artsy, bizarro videos. But then, as he mentioned, there's one specific video where Jay went to this quote-unquote abandoned now house of Brian, looking for something, someone, not really sure, and he kind of has a bit of a coughing fit. And in a Totheark video response of that, somebody is watching him have this coughing fit. Which that alone,
from behind.
Yeah, that alone kind of tells you like, Totheark is like stalking this man. He is seriously watching Jay go through this weird journey. He's leading him places for some reason we don't know why. And so entry 18 that we're going to rewatch, which we did watch last time, but I feel like it's a good entry point again to kind of refresh our minds a little bit about what's going on in season 1. We're going to rewatch this while I go make some popcorn, but I'll mute myself up, so it's fine. And it's important. Because there's an encounter. But that's all I'm going to say. Let me just pop us back on there. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and turn the chat box off for video purposes because that's how everybody likes it. Let's go.
Yep.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, I'll be here to watch. I went back to the house. That's me reading. Our policy is to be quiet during the video. I'm speaking now to just to let that policy be known. We'll talk between videos.
Hello? Who's here? Alex? Alex?
After I apparently stopped the camera, I don't remember anything else. I woke up here the next morning, my car off the road. The knife I had brought with me was also missing. At first I thought I'd been hallucinating, but I looked on the camera to see that it recorded whoever it was that attacked me. Boop. 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 And so on. The same audio distortion that I heard in Alex's tapes is also in the end of my footage. Something dangerous is going on, and I'm starting to regret ever getting involved with it now. Okay.
That's good.
Welcome back, Nathan.
Thank you. I had to leave my popcorn, but just I didn't know how long this was going to be. It is done. I will go get it in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and turn chat back on for a little moment because looks like we need to do a little bit of catching up. Siphon Sick, hi, welcome to chat. Good to see you. Sinti Mani, hi, welcome to chat. I apologize if I'm butchering any names. I'm doing the best I can, but as you can imagine, we all fuck up sometimes, right? Thank you, Chaos. I appreciate that. Siphon says, oh yeah, fun fact, you believe there are subtitles available for all the YouTube videos? I think they're available for most of them. Not entirely all of them, but I have turned them back on because you make a very good point. Sometimes there are little secret snippets or maybe you can't hear everything. Totally makes sense. So they are now on.
Good accessibility.
Absolutely. Because I cannot interpretive dance everything, nor do I know sign language very well, so can't really do that. I'm going to go ahead and grab my popcorn. I think the next one is a Totheark video.
Yeah.
Tell us. Feels very War of the Worlds right now. You have been keeping. Secrets. Smile for the camera. Right, let me grab my popcorn.
Yep.
I'll turn chat box back on in case you guys want to talk with Jordan.
Okay. The arc episodes, they're released there for most of the Marvel Hornets episode. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I know, like on the DVDs, there's subtitles for the entries, but there's no subtitles to the arc because, I mean, I don't know. There might be subtitles for some, but most of the time that you don't need them. Most of the time, the audio into the arc is just strange noises, and it's all interpretive anyway. So you're getting in on it. That's fun. We're all about fun here. I'd actually never seen this before. Then that's the ideal audience. Welcome, O1 Ball.
Quite right. And it's no surprise because I mean, yet again, there's plenty of people that are under the age of like 20 who weren't even born when this was going on. You know what I mean? Or were way too young, so they would have had no idea. Probably didn't have access to YouTube and stuff like that. It's not like this was in the news, because this is just yet again a fun little project, right?
Or they just weren't into horror at the time because there's all kinds of explanations.
Absolutely. So I feel like we're all going on an educational journey with plenty of good interaction. Ask questions because Jordan is quite the expert on Marble Hornets specifically, and a fair bit of Slender Man. I mean, I know a little bit about Slender Man, but he's more equipped for this because he was there. I was there too in the early days, but he went through the whole journey when it was like happening. Got the DVD box set and everything like that. He loves this shit. So don't be afraid to ask questions. We'll absolutely have little discussions, everything like that. It's great because this is yet again one of the first actual great video projects about Slender Man. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
All right. Oh, I almost choked on popcorn. Everybody ready?
Hi there, Lazy.
Lazy. Hi. Welcome to chat.
That's my friend.
Oh, hi, Lazy. Welcome to chat. All right, everybody ready for Entry 19?
All systems go. I've seen Totheark's video response to entry 18. Tell us you have been keeping secrets. Smile for the camera. And a face. There's something I have failed to mention in any other entry. I have been recording myself, much in the same way Alex did, for about a month now. However, it yielded nothing worth mentioning, so I began only checking it weekly since it recorded to a hard drive and not tapes. Until I checked the footage at the end of last week. All of the following clips take place 2 nights after I returned from the house in entry 18.
This is where stuff starts really getting good.
You could say that. And there's Jay, in the flesh, our narrator. My room is empty for about 3 hours, after which I come back in and fall asleep instantly. I don't remember ever getting up for an extended amount of time. Totheark, who I suspect is the person wearing the mask, knows where I live. Since finding these clips, I have not left my house at all. I've kept all the doors and windows locked. I need to find somewhere else to go. It's not safe to stay here anymore. Oh, Nathan, before we move on from this one, I want to point out like a little... it's not quite a secret, but it's another one of those things that's easy to miss.
Yeah.
I actually forgot about it for a long time. But so just before we see Masky, or sorry, that's the fan name for him is Masky. Before we see the masked man in the room, there's a shot of Jay just sleeping in the bed as normal. Yeah, that one. And in the window, you can see the mask outside the window. He's looking in.
Kind of like here in the bottom right?
Middle.
Kind of in the middle. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you see it?
Do you see it? Like all those ghosts.
Well, Nathan, do you see it?
Not really. I mean, I could definitely see there's kind of like a little pattern there, but it's not super obvious. But I think that's what's great about it, right? It's not obvious. You do have to look for these things. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's not obvious, but like it's in the middle square on the second row from the bottom.
Kind of like around
that
here.
Bit of white. That bit of white that isn't part of the grid.
God, it's yeah. It's faint. It's small. That's incredible. Oh, some people do. Some people see it.
That's right. Masky is not a creative name. But that's fandom. Like people are fans of this, and people come up with silly names.
Yeah, blame the fans. I'm kidding. Obviously, it's a joke. Let's see. Happy Guy says it's so unsettling. Yeah, it is an unsettling video, but it's great, right? Because yet again, this was like nearly 20 years ago. We're talking creepy because it's like this wasn't really done before. So to see something like that, you're like, oh my god, it's horrifying. Owen says, what was that? Masky is what we're cutely calling him, and we're going to stick with that because it humanizes him, right?
I mean, I'll try to call him the Masked Man. I forgot to call him that. My gut reaction is to call him Masky because I was part of the community back then.
Well, what about Totheark? I mean, you could call him that, right?
Well, it's like Jay suspects that he's Totheark. We could call him
That's
to the
true.
Ark.
That's true. No, I mean, you're totally right. We don't know 100% that he is to the Ark. You're completely right. I like Masky. Let's just keep calling him Masky. It's just goofy fun. Lazy says, I can't remember which one, but he did a real quick graphic design assignment based on one of To the Ark's responses. You always got so much inspiration from them. That's pretty cool, man. I totally understand it. I totally understand it. Siphon says, the masked man of these early episodes have always been so unsettling. You love this appearance, especially. This is definitely, for me, this is one of the things where I was like, this is good. Like, I'm like, oh, this is horrifying in a crazy different way, especially because he just disappears for like 3 hours as well, unexpectedly, unannounced, and he has no idea what happened, but he's totally fine. What's up with that? Weird. It's great. Let's see. Chaos says, you kind of see him. Lazy sees it. You see his forehead and can kind of construct the rest of your head. I get that. Eyes are like covered by the lowest bar in the window. Next, you're telling me green is not a creative color. Correct. I love green. But according to Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, it's not a creative color. So
I love Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
It's a fucking great. It's a great show. Did you see their little TV series they did?
I did, yeah. I think you were there actually. I think you were in the house when I was watching it. Yeah,
it's so good. It's just so trippy and weird. I love that stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
creepy puppetry. Let's see. Green's your favorite color. Just make a DHMS joke. Exactly. Your favorite color is actually red. Well, good for you, Owen. Good for you. Red's a fine color. Nothing wrong with it at all. But I've always been a green boy myself. What's your favorite color, Jordan?
Either blue or purple. Something along that line.
Interesting. Blue or purple. That's interesting. Red is fire. Good call, Lazy. Good call. Anybody else? Favorite colors?
Correct. Like fire is red.
That's very true. It could also be orangey, but yes, I completely agree. Anybody else? Tell me your favorite colors. Fire is good at cooks things. Very astute of you. You must be a philosopher. Also, the direct opposite of green. Fun color theory. Very true. Blue is your other favorite color, Chaos. Nice. But blue's good. Blue is a classic favorite color, right? A lot of people like blue, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think, especially the fact that there isn't just colors aren't just like one static color; they can come in shades and everything. I think it's really cool. It's nice. Like when the spider in your house disappears and you light your house ablaze. Owen, don't do that. It's a funny meme, but don't do it.
I have done that before.
Don't be Jordan. Maybe in Minecraft you can do that. Not in real life. All right.
Didn't mean to start the fire. And Mum, you're watching. I'm still sorry for that.
The spider had to die. I mean, I understand the logic. Ellie says red or black. Nice. Yeah, black is a good one. I definitely feel black. Black is a cool color. Especially in combination with stuff that it's striking. Happy guy likes purple. Hey, 2 purple lovers. Nice. Oh, the house spiders are your friends, Chaos. You got some fucking weird friends. But hey, every insect deserves a life too. Except for flies. They're just annoying. And wasps. Wasps are jerks. I think we can all agree on that. Just jerks. Do you charge the house spiders rent? It's an excellent question. They should be paying, right? They get to live for free. What is that? At least pets, you can pet them. Spider, I guess he eats bugs. He gets the best of everything. He gets to live in your house rent free, and he gets free food. Terrible. Flies do suck in the summer. Aw, Mom forgives you. Oh, good. Glad. You've come full circle. Okie dokie. Shall we watch another one, my friend? Oh, should we watch another one?
Yep.
To the Ark. Found you forever. Oh, no, we gotta go back. We should slow this down a bit. We just do a bit of frame by frame. So, you see our boy here, Jay.
Okay. Yep.
Looking.
And this is the To the Ark video. So To the Ark is responsible for this.
Looking a bit raccoonish, like he doesn't get a lot of sleep. Carry on through a bit. He's looking at something. Oh. He's kind of sitting down there on the floor by the door. I understand it. You know, sometimes you get a little too drunk. We all have bad days. It's okay. But then if we keep going... Oh. Whoa! Suddenly he's not alone! Tall person! Oh, my! Oh, tall person's coming our way. Look at him. A lot of distortion. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? So Totheark was filming Jay have some kind of a weird time on the floor, and Slender Man shows up. What's going on? What's going on? Jordan, what's going on?
I think the video speaks for itself. There's not actually that much to analyze. It's just something strange. the Slender Man is... I wouldn't even say he's interested in Jay because he walks right past Jay. But there's like a connection between the Slender Man, Jay, and Totheark now. Well, we don't know what it is.
Agreed. Strange. Because it makes you think, you know, like when we knew that Slender Man was obviously following Alex. We knew he was stalking him to an extent. Or maybe stalking isn't the right word. Maybe hunting. I don't know. I don't know how you want to define it.
Actually, yeah, that's a very good point, actually. This is the first time we've seen the Slender Man in the present day.
Exactly. So he's still around, conveniently in the area. Hilarious, but I guess he could teleport, so he can go wherever he wants. But yet again, specifically going after this kind of filming stuff, right? But only of these guys. It makes you wonder if he's looking for Jay or if he's looking for Totheark.
I mean, like, it can be argued that we only see the Slender Man around these filming guys because we're watching these filming guys. We don't really know what else is in this universe.
That's true. Make a very good point. I mean, Everyman Hybrid, he's there too. You're right. He just likes cameras. Hi, Howler. Welcome to chat, bud. But didn't the Slender Man take the two? Ooh. Yeah, we ain't going to be doing spoilers right now. But, things are going to happen. We're going to get through Season 1 today. Don't worry. Entry 19.5. Let's go.
Yeah. I'll read this one. I have decided to make a video record of the items I took from the house in Entry 16, which is also the house of Entry 18. In the process of doing so, I've discovered a few things. 1. The pills. The bottle has had its label torn off. But it's also completely empty. After checking Entry 16, I know it wasn't empty when I found it. I don't remember ever taking any of the pills. Then again, there's plenty of things I don't remember that still happen.
Thanks. No problem. Why are you wearing a jacket? It's pretty cold in here.
2. The bullet casing. It's missing. It's possible I misplaced it. Or it was taken. 3. The papers. Forget what I see.
Good call, Lizzie. I was going to go back for chaos, but I've got our answer.
Sees me. The symbol on the second sheet has been recurring. Other than that, I found nothing that could help me on them. Until I looked on the back. He should go over it, I think.
Yeah, I figured I would for us. For those of you who can't read it, it looks like it says "at the tower," which some of you might remember that big, tall, weird red building they found in the woods that one time. They thought was like an old fireman's tower or whatever.
It's hard to see from here, but yeah, it does say that. Although I know it says that. At the tower is written in the same style of writing that's on the front.
I guess I didn't need to.
Yeah. He sees me at the tower? Not sure what it could mean yet. Currently, I'm looking through the last of the tapes I took from Alex. Something important needs to come of it. Otherwise, the trail has gone cold. Entry 20.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Getting very interesting so far. That last one's nice because, I mean, the pills, especially for me, is quite a big one. Because it's weird that Jay is finding these unmarked pills, but we don't know that he's taking them, right? Like, actually consuming the pills. We just know that he's, like, physically got them. But we're pretty sure Alex was taking pills before.
Yeah, well, no. Excuse me. I don't think we've seen any video of Alex taking pills. I don't think. But we found the pills in Brian's house.
Oh, that's true. They were in Brian's house. I thought we did know that Alex was taking them. But I guess we don't know that. We just know that there are unmarked pills.
Yeah.
In Brian's house. Who is? Do we ever see Brian, Jordan?
Yes.
Okay.
For one thing, he was in entry 7. He was the guy in the car talking about the loop of unhappiness.
That's right.
But we'll see him more.
Yeah, I kind of forgot who he was. I remember some of the other characters later on, but I didn't fully remember Brian. Interesting. Oh, and don't be starting stuff about pineapple on pizza again. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't belong on every pizza, but there's nothing wrong with it. Okay.
I believe that chat member High Howler 623 was asking who I am. I'm Jordan. I'm Nathan's brother, and I'm the one who got him into Marble Hornets. And he pulled me onto this because he considers me the resident expert on the subject. So I'm here to give what context and interpretations I can.
He has the DVD box set. He knows what he's talking about.
And I have talked with the creators before.
I'm Facebook friends with Troy.
Yeah, they're Facebook friends of everybody.
That's cool. I think it's really cool. He's got kids now. It's amazing. Oh, sorry, I'm still finishing my popcorn. Anyway, it's a lot of mystery. I'm just seeing if there's anything important in chat that we need to mention. You kept reading AJ the Theater. I get that. I can absolutely understand. I wonder if there's an AJ Theater. There probably is. Probably. I don't know where.
Well, I will say something that I find amusing about entry 19.5 is Jay's posing himself as this investigator, but he says like I didn't find anything on the papers until I looked on the back, as if like it's a big revelation. But why wouldn't you look on the back of a piece of paper?
That's a fair point. Yeah, if you're investigating anything, you're right. You just need to investigate everything. Yeah. It did make it seem like it was more revealing than just little words on the back of a page, right?
Yeah.
The implication that whoever was writing these things was struggling a lot against mental stress and was just writing on whatever they could find when they could. I mean, that makes sense, especially with the drawings that they do, because they take like the whole page. It's very clear. It's like a big message. So yeah, the fact that there's a little tiny one on the back, that's more of like an interesting piece. You're quite right, because it's not like the crazy messages. It's almost like giving you a location for a specific reason. You like mushrooms
Yeah.
on pizza, Ellie? Nice. I do too. I just like mushrooms anyway. Pineapple on pizza should not be illegal. Owen, you're allowed to have opinions, but you can also be wrong. As long as people respect your issues with texture. Don't know what issues you have with texture, but I can understand. I mean, I'm talking like food texture. I get that. Not every bit of food feels good. I totally understand that. They're seriously going on about the pizza in a minute. I'm happy for all of you.
You know what? You know what should be illegal? Plain cheese pizza. I mean, who gets that? That's a quote from the creators of the show.
Vegetarians. But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's pretty basic. I can understand. I feel like it's a very natural instinct to flip papers over. Yeah, I get that. I would say so. Okay. Entry 20. Everybody ready?
Okay. And is it cool if I keep reading this stuff? Like reading the entries?
Yeah, it allows me to eat my popcorn, and then I'm probably going to end up grabbing a beer in a bit, so I'm happy with that.
Cool. I've got a beer as well, actually, across the room. That I can always get.
You ready?
By accident.
Well, I meant ready to watch, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's do this. I'm almost finished looking through the tapes. I found what could possibly be the final clue I get from them. Again, I don't remember any of this happening.
All right. Let's see. We'll do a little special featurette here for the DVD.
Yeah, since we're waiting for Tim, who's running kind of late.
Flip the screen over for me. That looks awful. Where'd that painting go then?
Right there.
There we go. Took it down. Now I want it back. There we go.
Full creative control here.
Not even gonna put it on the hook. Brian has excellent taste in art.
Yeah.
So we're here on the set of Marble Hornets here at Brian's house. Brian is somewhere. I don't know where.
I wasn't paying attention. Were you?
No. We've been doing some script revisions for coming up here.
I've been supervising that because I'm the script supervisor.
Yes, Jay has been very helpful today. I'm very proud of him. We're just waiting on Tim to get here. Going to give him the new script, maybe run over some lines.
This new script. It's a whole lot of power to give someone like him.
Yeah, you know, pretty much everyone's at risk. It's terrifying. How you doing, Tim? Drive all right?
Yeah, it was okay. Sorry I'm late.
No problem.
Jeez. Why is it so cold in June?
Let's go ahead and start over from. I'm tired of this.
That's yeah.
The actual
speaking
line.
of, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of what, I'm really tired of this. I really need a break now.
Take 5, I guess.
Take 5. Yeah. Everything highlighted for him.
I think so. I think I got it all.
Wow.
Seriously?
Oh, you sure they'll come if you were sick.
I know.
You alright, Tim? Need anything?
No, I'm okay.
What's that?
Just some medicine I have to take.
Do you need to go home? Should we cut?
No, I'm fine.
Alright.
The events seem to be out of order, or missing parts altogether. Tim is also acting very strangely. The pill bottle he has looks similar to the one I found in the house. In regards to entry 19.5, I've concluded at the tower may be referring to the red structure seen in entry 5. This is the only solid lead right now, so I've decided to go there soon. Nope.
It's so fast. It's okay. We'll slow it down. We'll slow it down, frame by frame. Ooh.
Okay, and then I'll tell you the answer in a single sentence, so you can put all the effort in that you want.
Oh, fantastic. So, this is obviously a picture of the Red Tower upside down. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh, so ominous and spooky. Let me just kind of zip through that. Oh, I went the wrong way. I feel like a doofus. Be up here. Poison.
Poison,
Good band. Random.
random, endings, centered, excludes, death, encountering, sale, I think, truth, receives, endangering, every, section, waiting for you.
Red X.
So Nathan, any clues or any ideas on what that means?
So my immediate thoughts. Oh, I accidentally muted it. Sorry. Let me just otherwise I'll forget. My immediate thoughts are the fact. Hi, comment. Welcome to chat. I keep getting distracted. Sorry. I think poison is the part that's really jumping out, right? Because it's a great way to describe a negative corruption virus problem, right? At least in a digital way to kind of synonym, I think is the word I'm looking for. Similarities, things like that. And we've seen a lot of distortion. We've seen a lot of bizarroness when it comes to at least one or two characters specifically. Not so much the Masky, although there is a little bit with Masky, but more so with Slender Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm really trying to figure out is, I mean, obviously I know later on, but I'm trying to theorize in this moment in time. I'm trying to figure out what is Slender Man's role. What is he doing here? What is the point of him in this video series? Because yeah, it's great that he's like an entity. That's fine, but it seems like he's got goals almost. It seems like he's got a specific purpose that he's trying to do. And then Masky. The fuck is the deal with that? I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point that we should all be able to pinpoint an idea of who Masky is. I think we've all kind of, via context clues, figured that out. But what's up with that? Right? There's a lot of questions, and I feel like the poison is talking about how it kind of corrupts somebody's mind. That's just my immediate thoughts. But I feel like you can dissect this a lot better than I can at this moment in time.
Well, do you want me to just give the obvious answer, or is it might kill a fair bit of mystery for this one, but I'll just say, because anybody who's watching this who knows enough about Marble Hornets, they already know this. So, there's a sequence of seemingly random words followed by waiting for you, and that sequence of random words, if we take a look at the first letter of each word in sequence, it spells precedes trees, and that's this secret message.
Precedes trees.
Yeah. And so I've only just realized what that actually means. Is it like when I was younger, I always thought it basically meant like between trees, but no, precedes trees would imply that something came before trees.
That's right.
That's actually pretty cool.
But here's the other part of it. Does that determine a position, or does that determine an age?
Yeah.
Because you could be talking about position, or you could be talking about time. It preceded trees. It preceded regular life, right? Nature. At least that's my thought on it.
Siphon Steak has given a really tantalizing comment. Precedes trees is actually an anagram for deeper secrets as well. Although it's not precedes, it's Precedes.
Oh, precedes, not proceeds.
Precedes, yeah.
But that
that's why,
is
yeah,
freaky. Although they're still correct. It's just they have the misspelling of proceeds. But
oh, okay.
even with precedes trees, that's right. It would be an anagram for deeper secrets. That would work. So
I didn't even realize that. Maybe I did used to, but yeah. But deeper secrets waiting for you. Okay, that's a complete. Well, it's not a complete sentence, but it's a phrase that makes sense.
it makes total sense. We know there's obviously more to what's going on than we understand. It's just finding said secrets, and it's just trying to maybe give us an idea where to go. But I don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. So like, clearly, To the Ark is aware. Well, To the Ark is watching Jay's channel, so To the Ark knows that Jay wants to go to this tower, and so To the Ark makes this video that references the tower, and and basically says deeper secrets are waiting for you. So it's To the Ark agrees with Jay, go to the tower. Like, it's the language is cryptic, but To the Ark is kind of having a dialogue.
Absolutely. Makes me wonder where it's going to go. I do know, but, for those of you who don't know, it must make you wonder, where is this going to go? What's going on here? What's the deeper secrets? Let's keep going.
Okay, entry 21. The Red Tower.
I love that thought, Lazy. That's really funny. Imagine from him climbing. I can. Dan, in just a minute, buddy. What has he found? A harmonica, I knew it. It's tape.
I'll be watching the tape I found soon.
So, let's get caught up with chat. Hi, Howler. Hi, bud.
Yeah.
Welcome back. This is Jordan. He's my brother. He's the one who first got me into Marble Hornets because he was there for when it was all officially coming out 15-something years ago. He has the DVD box set of this. He's digested this probably multiple times, I would say. So it only felt fitting to bring him in because he would know a lot more of how to explain things, and you know, it just totally makes sense. Plus, it's just a nice way to be able to hang out with people as well. So hopefully you were here for the answer this time. Let's see. I don't know if we could really spoil who to. That's a good point. Jordan, do we know? Well, you would probably know who Totheark actually is.
Yep.
Does it get explained in this series?
Yes, but not for a while.
Okay, so because of that, we won't spoil it. Yet again, we'll do multiple watches. We'll eventually get there. Don't worry. Everything will be explained. All you need to understand is there's a lot of weird shit going on and a lot of mystery, but this is only season 1. It's only season 1. This is only the beginning. Let's see. The tower gave you weird. Oh, the tower gave you both weird. You're not supposed to be here, and this is exactly where you're supposed to be vibes. Yeah, absolutely. It is a weird. It's a weird structure. Just a little Watchman's Tower kind of a thing. It makes me think of like a really shoddy overlook kind of a tower, like a Firewatch tower. It's kind of weird. Interesting that. Let's see. Unless you caught up. Wallace and Gromit. Of course we've seen Wallace and Gromit. We're both English. It's like a rite of it's like the thing. It's one of the things, but it's incredibly popular. I haven't seen the new film yet though, but I'm planning on doing that. It looks like it's gonna be really goofy.
Me neither. I want to watch it as well.
Do we react to analog horror films? Nightmate, hi, welcome to chat. Sometimes yes. In this current series we're doing, we're specifically doing Marble Hornets because it's one of the oldest, it's one of the most impressive, and it's pretty much been one of the foundations for what's happening these days. Which, it's a shame because the ones these days aren't always as impressive and dedicated to some of these earlier works. They're really not. Which I'm not to say all of them are that. I mean, quite a few of the newer ones are pretty good. Like Local 58 is one of my favorites personally. It's really it's well done. But yeah, so we're going back in time for this one, and I brought on the expert, the one who I know knows so much more about this than I do. Even though I have seen all of it, but it's been a while, and I don't digest it as much as he does because I have to be the all arounder.
Like I have watched the series all the way through, probably a few dozen times. Because even after I kind of grew out of watching the full series itself, I would still watch the DVD commentary. And so I was always like, I don't know, I'm very well aware of what goes on in the series. And back when it was still coming out, I watched every entry the moment it came out, and I would read the discussions about it. I would participate in the discussions about it. So, like, it's still, like, I wouldn't say it's fresh in my mind, but there's a lot of it in there to remember.
It sure is. It sure is. But it's 4 seasons, isn't it? It's quite long.
3.
Oh, sorry, 3
It's
seasons.
3 seasons.
So
Yeah, but the third one is very long.
It is quite long. Let's see. Lazy just blurbing your thoughts out loud. I get that. No worries. We're all here for a good time. It's all good. Nightmate says, it's a new and unique analog horror just released a week ago. It's called Jula, Julada. It's a weird word. I don't know what's up with that. It's 24 minutes, but I highly recommend it. Nightmate. Is that for your channel by chance? I get a funny feeling because I've seen people self-promo in my stuff before. Not an issue. I could put it on the list and it's something we can watch. Maybe at the end of this, maybe today we'll watch it. And we
that'd
can
be
all
fun.
react to it. Yeah, we could do that.
It'd be fun to give me something that I'm not intimately familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a week ago new, why not? Okay, we'll make that a plan. Once we finish season 1 today and we have our little chats and everything, maybe we'll react to that. Jaleda. I gotta make a note. There's my pad. It's a weird word. Is it a different language? Jaleda.
Maybe.
So, it feels like it'd be a different language. I got a pen somewhere? I usually do. This, oh.
I've got pens right here, actually.
Well, that doesn't help me, does it?
Well, I can write it down.
Okay, you write it down.
I now need paper.
Well, I have paper and you have the pens. Damn
okay,
it.
I found something. Jula.
Excellent. Well done.
Got it.
Done. Well done, Nightmate. We will indeed react to it. Owen says he keeps seeing those weird birds outside. So do a lot of people, man. I get comments about it every single day. It's like all I hear. It's good, though. It's good. Lazy loves some DVD commentary. I feel that. What is something you're really into? I do like me a bit of DVD commentary. It just kind of, it gives you a bit more insight, but it's also a little relaxed, right? It's kind of nice. Can anyone explain? Oh, no. No, I can't explain the weird birds, bud. You're in the wrong zone for that right now. Mr. Snyder, hi, welcome to chat. Oh, Nightmate says, it's the first Arabian analog horror film ever. Is it?
Yeah.
I feel like there are other... Well, I mean, there might not be Arabian analog horror films, but there's definitely Arabian analog horror. But,
yeah, I mean...
I'm still interested.
That is an interesting claim to make, because it's not hard to make an analog horror. But I don't know. The genre's been around since what, the 90s? Well, longer than that. Like Ellie of all people will know how long analog horror's been around for.
Oh,
probably even predates the 90s.
Can you confirm, Ellie? Can you confirm that information? Because I'm curious. I'm curious for your expertise. We can always get her on here sometime. That'd be cool. We can all do some analog horror stuff.
I still want to see this Jula thing, because it would just be fun to see something,
we'll definitely
promoted in the chat.
Yeah, we'll definitely watch it. I see no reason not to. So that'd be fun. It'd be something new for all of us. You know, it'll be fresh for everybody here because none of us would have seen it. So if anything, that's an exclusive. You're welcome. Chaos had pens right there. Big mood. Damn right. Big mood. I've got like 12 pens, right? And I always keep them nearby because I always make notes and stuff. And the one time I need a freaking pen, and of course, I mean, I don't want to blame Jenny. But she does use my pens. So I know she's moved it. It's really annoying. Not that annoying, though, obviously. Just like a goofy moment. Apparently, Mr. Snyder is so Sigma. Thank you for that. Yeah. Great. My goodness gracious. First analog horror, not found footage. Okay, Nightmate. I mean, that doesn't mean there isn't Arabian analog horror. But,
Found footage is analog horror.
It definitely could be both. It's a moment for discussion because not all analog horror has found footage, but there is found footage that is in analog horror. So it's an arguable point, right? But
I guess it does depend on how you define it. But yeah, okay. Sorry.
it's okay. They make it. I mean, either way, we're still gonna check it out. Let's see. Ellie says, thinking of like Mondo films, like Cannibal Holocaust. That's like 70s Italian filmmaking. Oh, Cannibal Holocaust. Mm-hmm. That was good, was that one? It is found footage, but has elements of modern stuff. Yeah, quite right, quite right. Do the Walton Files? No, we've already done the Walton Files. Already done the Walton Files. I mean, I think the newest one they did was the Were Rabbit thing, or the Pumpkin Rabbit, something like that. It was all right. It's kind of weird. Probably not going back into it. Oh, Botrix! It took you an hour to join the channel. Well done, robot. A whole hour. Wow, it's not good. All right, let's carry on, shall we? If we want to watch Jula, we have to get through this. Chatbug's going away. Let's go. Entry 22. I'm gonna grab a beer. You guys carry on. Jordan's got this.
The tape.
Seth is gone. I don't remember what happened. We were the only two left, and I left him. Brian is gone. Tim, and Jay, and Sarah. Everyone is gone. I just woke up in this house with the tape. Seth's camera is gone. All I can remember from the night is right here. All I can remember at all is on the tape now. I'm leaving this house. I thought I would be safer here by running away, but everything's just gotten worse. I'm going back to my home, and I'm burning these tapes. All of them.
Or so he thought.
Before we even look at chat, I just want to give like a little comment / opinion. Mostly just gushing. In fact, entirely just gushing. But I love the audio design of this series. It becomes clear, like especially in the investigation. Well, like the investigations are often just walking through dark rooms, but the audio is really vivid. There's strange noises. There's this, especially in this entry, there's this big rumbling that keeps happening, and the vibes that I get from this is like a David Lynch film, because David Lynch films are also very, very intentionally designed audio-wise, because David Lynch himself was responsible for the sound design for his films, and it's just this extreme subconscious discomfort. It gives you this dread of like almost a comfortable dread, actually. Ironically, it's discomfort, but there's like it doesn't really grate on you so much, but you don't want to see whatever's going to happen next, because there's this expectation that once they turn the corner, they're going to see something. And it is my understanding that this series was influenced by David Lynch, as many things of this day and age are. But David Lynch was incredibly influential. Yeah, I just wanted to praise the sound design, especially for this entry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this entry is interesting because it feels different than most of the other ones, right? It's almost kind of feeling like a bit of a ghost hunty sort of experience with a lot of more hardcore weirdness going on than a typical "hey, what was that noise" sort of a malark, right? But it also, so the point of this tape, right? At least to my understanding, I didn't see how it begins. Is it feels almost like Alex and at least one other person, whoever the cameraman, I believe Seth is typically the cameraman for the majority of the stuff. They're looking for something, right?
The subtitles said Seth, and also Alex does at points during this say Seth.
Yeah.
Just for trivia / clarity, we met Seth in entry 9, which was also the entry where we met Tim. Seth was the guy behind the camera.
Yeah, I think he's been the cameraman for the majority of Marble Hornets stuff. Yeah. Compared to the future guy who's Jay, who's working on everything, he is involved with the original Marble Hornets production, but in a different kind of way. He's a script supervisor, apparently.
Yeah.
No. So let's go ahead and catch up with chat as well, because I'm sure there's a lot of fun questions. Lazy, that's a great reference, by the way. Hey, demons, it's me, your boy. Love it. Love Shane. He's really great. A lot of things that look like a bit of fun. Joking about, that looks like a masky face. Interesting. So you thought, well, we'll talk hypotheticals in just a moment, but that's interesting. Not Seth MacFarlane. Well, that's funny. That's just funny. But no, it's not Seth MacFarlane. At least playing with you. Very funny though. Very funny that I can't believe you tricked somebody with that. That's really great. The Man in the Suit, Mr. Sider. It's good, but it's no longer continuing. The creator found the community to be quite toxic, the Gojira community to be specific, and so he's no longer doing more Man in the Suit, which I get it. I get it. If the community's too toxic and mean to you, yeah, I get it. I luckily don't have those problems, but that's because I'm a nice guy. People like me. I do still get people every once in a while saying like somewhat mean things, but I get it maybe like once every 3 months. It's pretty rare for me. I guess I'm just lucky though. Let's see. Kind of reminds you of the Vita Carnus series. I get that. Vita Carnus is great. Oh, Lazy also says the audio design is really nice. It's way more deliberate than just throwing scare chords and distortions of random things. Quite right. Exactly like Jordan said. It's deliberate. It's meant for a reason. Quite right. Each bit almost always implies or points to something. Nightmate's asking if we're going to react to Jula Day on the same street. Yes, when we're done with Marble Hornets. Yes. Marble Hornets Season 1, to be specific. There's a couple more entries. Yeah. It's not much longer.
Yeah.
I think it's only up to like entry 24 or 26, isn't it?
6.
Yeah.
26.
And there's probably like another Totheark or 2, but it's not going to be long. So yes, we will. Just be patient, mate. Just be patient. We're here. This stream is specifically saying we're watching Marble Hornets. So we're doing that first. This is my house. This is my stream. But we will get to it because I feel like we should totally utilize the time we have. Let's see. Seth equals original cameraman for the Disastrous Student film by Alex. Yes. Which surprisingly has the same name. That's another interesting thing, right? So the fact that the student film that Alex was originally making, that we've seen snippets of because of this series, is called Marble Hornets. But the YouTube channel is also called Marble Hornets. And I know Jordan knows why it's called Marble Hornets, and I don't know if it comes up later or if he wants to tell us.
It doesn't come up. It's like I don't know. It's a bit of silly trivia, but it's like the creators just picked a name that sounded like a pretentious student film. They just picked like adjective noun, Marble Hornets. They picked 2 words that they saw one day. They picked the Peter Griffin method of just picking what they saw. But as for why the YouTube channel, that's looking at it Doylean. That's looking at why the creators did something. Let's look at it Watsonian. Why did the characters inside the story do it? Well, Alex was like, I'm sure Alex had his really deep, like poetic meaning to it. But well, actually, there is a freaking like an Easter egg in one of the DVD bonus features. But that's later. If we do talk about that, that'll be season 3. But as for why Jay named the YouTube channel Marble Hornets, I would presume that it's because, well, as he started the series, he intended it to just be posting tapes from Marble Hornets, and maybe he was hoping that anybody else who was involved with Marble Hornets, anybody who recognized the name, would be able to see the series and come forward and talk about it with him or just disclose anything they knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, there probably are. In fact, I'm sure that there are real-world examples of an investigation which is named after the thing that's being studied.
Yeah, there's a lot of restoration projects, for example, that use the same name, like the Welcome Home Restoration Project, for example. You're exactly right. It's meant to put the same name out there so that people who recognize it will hopefully come forward.
And in the Danielewski novel House of Leaves, the famous novel House of Leaves, there's the novel within the novel, The Navidson Record, which is a novel about film called The Navidson Record. So like that's a book about the thing that it's named after, although it's still fictional. But
it's still good though.
There are examples.
Yeah, you're quite right. That's a great example. It's a great example.
And Ellie just brought up the Blair Witch Project, which is a film project within the movie, the Blair Witch Project. That's
very true. That's very true. They made the project because they were looking for the Blair Witch.
Yeah, they were making a documentary about it, weren't they? And asking the locals about the legend.
That's right. Yeah, good call. Good call on that. Very good.
So
yes,
it's clearly like a found footage tradition. It's an investigation tradition. It's all playing within that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of found footage tends to do that. They were investigating something. You're quite right. Alright. It's like there's a theme. Not always true, but yeah, you're quite right. Let's see. Nightmate says, "Oh, is that Slender Man's entries?" Yes, yes. Marble Hornets is indeed Slender Man entries. Not the only ones. Just one of the most famous when it comes to Slender Man stories.
And the first.
And the first, quite right. At least in video form, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because I think there were other versions before it, mostly like text and pictures and stuff. But yeah, this is the first
there's
proper
text and
video.
pictures before that.
And then Everyman Hybrid came after this one, but that delved into more than just Slender Man.
And there's also Tribe 12. Like that was the big three of the Slender vlogs:
Yeah,
Marble
Tribe
Hornets,
12.
Everyman Hybrid, and Tribe 12.
I forgot about Tribe 12. Yeah.
Then there was the still famous but lesser known. Was Dark Harvest one of them? I think Dark Harvest may have been one of them. ML Anderson Zero, and there were also other ones. It's been a while since I've watched anything other than Marble Hornets.
I didn't know about the other one. I knew about the big three because of you, but I didn't know about the other ones. Interesting. Oh man, unbelievable. So, shall we try to get season 1 done?
Yeah, let's crack on.
Let's crack on. Hang on to your butts, boys and girls. To the Ark.
Return to us. Wake up. That's an anagram. Well, okay, it's an anagram that doesn't spell anything, but it translates to something that does spell something. It's awaiting your arrival. And then another to the Ark. Back to back.
Just because you're all so good.
There are doors unopened.
Open them. Entry 23. 7 minutes.
It's the big one of this season. The only choice I thought I had was to return to the house again and see what I could find.
Smart. Go in the daytime.
Yeah. Muted. Okay, it's supposed to do that.
Yep, it wasn't me. He's just chilling. Oh. No, don't come in my room.
multiple doors have taken him to the same room. In case that wasn't clear.
It's a great trope. Stuck in a loop.
It doesn't look like it's the daytime anymore.
You're right. We entered Undertale? It's the sound effects. He's naked! Hello? Does it look a bit familiar?
That's the last thing the camera ever recorded. When I woke up back in my home the next day, I found out that it no longer works. I remember nothing other than what the footage I got off of it shows. I have other cameras, but it doesn't even matter to me anymore. I am never going back to that house again. I'm done with this. I don't want to know the answers anymore.
I hate this. I'm done.
I don't want to play anymore.
It's got too scary. I can't stand it.
That's what it sounds like. But to be fair, I mean, when you really think about it, you know, if you went through some super trippy, crazy, horrific like experiences, you might throw in the towel too, right? Like I feel like as much as I love horror and the idea of things being bizarre and crazy and all that jazz, I feel like if I were actually in a situation like he's in, I might you know have a rough
Yeah.
time. I might have a rough time. Like I'd be interested, but I'd also be concerned that I'd be like I could die here, right?
Yeah.
But it's good. It's so interesting, right? Because he goes on this crazy, and then like I said at one point, I was like, "Ooh, this place looks a bit familiar." And I think it's because for a brief moment he goes into the same place that Alex was at in that other tape that we saw, where he loses
Yeah.
Seth.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in that strange abandoned industrial kind of location.
Hmm.
That same one from entry 22.
Somehow got there through that specific house, Brian's house. What's up with Brian's house? It's feeling like a
Yeah,
ley
there's
line or some shit.
yeah, I guess you could say that like this entry introduces another idea that Marble Hornets will work more with in the future, which is uh, teleportation, like specifically related to the Slender Man. Uh, I mean, like it can be argued that there's been teleportation before, although this is the first time we've seen it through the eyes of the camera. Because
Right.
he found that like the doors in that house took him to places that they shouldn't be taking him to, and then one of the doors he'd never opened before took him to that industrial basement warehouse abandoned place.
Which had tons of audio distortion.
Yeah, it's almost like an analog horror kind of hell to be in that space. I wouldn't want to spend much time there. It just seems very gross, with probably dust and asbestos and broken glass. If I had to imagine rust,
Yeah.
and
You get
I
tetanus.
think that one of the horrors that I think that this entry in particular expresses. I don't know how explicitly it expresses it, but that's also because I've been watching this entry in particular for over a decade, so I'm probably very close to it. But it's this idea of like Jay took precautions this time to avoid going through anything scary, but like every single precaution he took was thrown away, and he came in the daytime and he was teleported around to nighttime, and then he was taken to like the scariest place, the place that isn't the house. It's just this idea of being helpless and thrust into a place you don't want to be. And there's a little trick that happened throughout this. I wouldn't really call it a trick, but when Jay is in the industrial area, he says hello, and throughout his exploration of that, he hears his own voice thrown back at him. He hears hello in different pitches and kind of like far away, and he kind of freaks out a bit. He looks around every time he hears it, and it doesn't even show up in the subtitles, which surprised me a bit. But,
Yeah. I
yeah,
thought that was because yet again the important thing to note about the Marble Hornet subtitles especially are these aren't auto generated. These are specifically put in there by the creator. So yet again done with a purpose. So the fact that his I suppose you call it just like a typical echo that are delayed with different pitches and stuff like that because yet again this is a unknown bizarre space which clearly doesn't fully follow the rules of physics that we might understand. The fact that they don't even appear in subtitles is also interesting because yet again is that just an echo then? Is that just a reflection of himself? But why are the pitches changed? It makes you ask questions, and that's the beauty of that kind of a thing, right? We don't know.
and something I suspect, and this is looking at it from a production standpoint, is I suspect that they're probably reserved about using subtitles in certain cases where it'll take your eyes off of the screen. So like there's a lot of subtitles for like doors opening and closing and rustling or rumbling or just various noises, but I noticed that there's no subtitle for like the sound of the mask on the door knob rattling back and forth when like Jay comes out of the closet, pun not intended, and sees the mask hanging. And I imagine that well, like you hear it before you see it, but I imagine they didn't put that subtitle there because they wanted you to keep looking at the screen. They wanted you to see the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And like when Jay's in the industrial space, it's not really like the echoes aren't really that important informationally. They don't really convey anything necessary. They're there to freak you out. And if you're relying on subtitles, then you don't really need that, because you're looking at the screen, you're looking at a dark space, you're looking at, and you're following the flashlight, trying to see anything that see whatever the flashlight will reveal. That is its own horror, and that's what the entry is really trying to focus on. But anyway, yeah, that's my thought on that subject.
It's a good thought.
So priorities.
No, it's a really good thought. It yet again reminds you that everything is done for a reason. You know, I mean, yeah, you might have a little random thing here or there, but the majority of the stuff that is important, it's crafted the right way to tell the story. It's telling a story without always having to use words.
Yeah, literally.
It's like how a picture can be worth 1,000 words. Great. Okie dokie. We're almost done with season 1, everybody. Let's carry on.
Yes, we are. Okay.
Warning by Totheark.
The following are raw footage excerpts from Alex Crayley. Eyes open. Stay home. Be alone. Smile for the camera. Regards. Smile for death.
That's what it said, yeah.
324. The following is taken from the surveillance cameras set up inside my house. Home. Home. Once again, audio designed.
TV on, but on the computer. I get it. Get it. Background noise. You'll lay down and just leave everything on? What a waste. Weird.
2 hours pass before I'm seen again.
Disappeared from his own house. The only door outside
The only
is
door
blocked.
outside is blocked. I couldn't have left. Sorry, I was taking a sip.
No, you're cool. That's why I thought I'd cover you. Me too, Chaos. Me too.
Just in case you missed it, he spells it out of the strangeness.
Ooh, entry number one.
Pause this one first. Pause. like it doesn't come across on the full screen like this, but this is not a Totheark entry. This was posted to the Marble Hornets channel.
Mm.
Although
does.
it's clearly Totheark, but it's posted to the channel.
It's entry
And-
number. Those of you who don't know, it's just a bunch of pound signs or hashtags.
Hashtags, yeah.
We will wait for you to know more. Control is being taken away from you. From the start, it's been a game for us. Not anymore. I'm coming for you, and you will lead me to the Ark.
Entry 25. Weirdness is ensuing.
I've been out of my home ever since Totheark put the last video on this channel. I'm currently staying in a hotel.
Must be nice.
Yesterday, I got a call from someone I know telling me to turn on the news.
Firefighters are on the scene of an apartment fire in County. Shannon has been covering it for us. She joins us now with the latest. Shannon?
Angie, you take a look behind me. This is the most relaxed we've seen this scene since we've been
The
here.
sun has
The original
vanished.
firefighters that were here have all left, and they've all been replaced by firefighters from all over, as far away as we've seen some from as well. But the firefighters do think that everyone got out okay except for some pets. A few disabled residents were rescued by the police chief and several other people who ran inside to pull them out. Kim is the name of the police chief who we're told rescued about 3 people on his own. He ran inside this burning building to bring the people out. This is home video that was shot by a resident. At one point, you can see the flames coming out of a side bedroom, and it's believed that's where the fire started on the 3rd floor. A woman heard fire crackling in her bedroom, and she tried to put it out with a towel, but it grew into this large fire. At one point, the roof collapsed, and that was a dangerous situation for firefighters. Once they started putting water on the flames, there was a lot of smoke, so you could definitely smell this fire before you could see it. Fire officials believe that this building is going to be a total loss. There were 12 apartments in this building, and the Red Cross is here to assist the people who have been displaced.
That was my apartment.
Sorry for your loss. So sorry for your loss. It's interesting. A fire happened shortly after he left.
And a nice detail is during the camcorder footage that's in the middle of that news report, there is visual tearing, implying that the Slender Man was present even there.
Do you think the Slender Man set the place on fire?
Do you think the Slender Man works for the local news?
Holy shit. You know what? That's a fucking story. Which news network does the Slender Man work for? Oh god. Looks like
No
chat's having.
comment.
Oh wow, you might know. Okay, well I'm not gonna
No,
pry
no,
into that.
No, I didn't want to make it political.
Independent news network only. It's fun. Looks like chat's having a bit of fun with each other. That's great. Ellie asks a good question. The sun has vanished flashbacks. You don't know how or if it ended. I do know. Because it's a Twitter horror story, and I that's how my channel became really popular, is Twitter horror stories. Amir Halal has subscribed. Thank you, Amir Halal. Thank you very much for that. So the sun vanished. It took place over a couple of years, back in like 2017. I think it ended about 2019, 2020. And it went on hiatus, sadly, for pretty much indefinitely. The creators of it, they all basically grew apart. They were working on different projects. They've never come back to it since, which is a bit of a shame. So it might never come back. But they did do a fan project film, and it's mostly a romantic sci-fi, and it's not great. It's not great, to be honest with you. But it's a shame. Sun Vanish is good. It's real good. I've covered all of it on my channel, in case you want to see that. It's good for the most part, but it gets weird. Let's see what else we got. Fire crap. Ouch, it burns. Quite right. Lazy says save all the pets. Absolutely. Gotta save the pets. Gotta save the pets. Chaos says, absolutely save little buddies. There was a fire in an apartment you lived in, but it started down the hall. A little bit of time to escape then. That's nice. That's nice. He says, part of the original Victor Surge posts had a library fire where the photos of him were stored.
The
Oh,
photos of the Slender Man. That was the
Oh.
original Slender Man posts.
Wow. Weird coincidence. Weird coincidence. Lazy says, you have to AFK shortly for food. No worries. No worries. I don't know when we're wrapping up. We'll kind of decide that as we go between me and Jordan. That's not a problem. But it's been fun having you, Lazy. Either way, it's been fun having you. Owen
It's great to see you, Lazy.
Owen spilled water on his phone. Good job. Yeah. All right, I think we're all caught up. We're almost done with season 1, boys and girls. We're almost done.
Yeah, we are. Only one more.
And then we'll watch Jula die.
Yeah. We can have like a little one last discussion about season 1.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
This is entry 26.
I still want to read.
Do it.
Since seeing the news report in entry 25, I've been changing my location frequently, trying to keep anyone from following me. It was over these couple of weeks of going from hotel to hotel that I had a realization.
In fact, I haven't thought about it in the past week, and frankly, I've been feeling a lot better. My memory's better, I'm not as paranoid, I'm not looking over my shoulder all the time like I used to be. So I think that this is for the best. So this is going to be the last entry that I'll be posting.
I decided to quit. I planned to move far out of state and to stop thinking about it forever. However, shortly after that, I received a text message from a strange number. 41810 from garbled numbers. As soon as I shared the picture on Twitter, everyone agreed it was a date, April 18th, 2010. Today. When I was leaving my current location, I found something. Oh, 0A0, boo.
Boo! Goddamn tapes.
Watch this. It's the video of like skateboarders doing sick tricks.
I broke my gooch.
Someone knows where I've been this entire time. And they sent me this tape with the following footage.
Herb VR, welcome to chat.
So when did this happen?
Wait, what happened?
When did we get a camera? Alex, come on.
We don't have a camera.
Yes, we do.
Where did you find that?
It was in the closet. There's a tape already in it, but when I tried to watch it, it was messed up or something. I don't know.
That's probably just my old camera from college. I probably stuck it back in there when we moved. Just gonna sell it.
But I thought we didn't have a camera.
Look, doesn't matter. I'm gonna sell it. Just please put it back. Stop recording.
Fine, I'm not recording anymore.
You can still see the light.
Got him.
Are you okay, Alex?
I'm fine. Just put it back, please.
You're in a really odd mood right now. Fine.
Get out right now. What is that? Jump out on the street. Get down to the street. Go. I'm going to be right behind you. Go.
The footage is dated April 4th, 2010, 2 weeks ago. The package also had a return address. Alex is still alive, and I'm going to find him. I don't know the next time you'll see me after this. I thank you for the help.
Welcome.
That's it.
Wow. 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 Wow, wow.
There's
wow,
also
wow.
there's also a credits video, but we don't have to watch that.
Might watch it later. Might watch it later. So, a lot of bizarreness. And
Yeah.
I think one of the best cliffhangers, because, you think you kind of have an idea what's going on. You think it's just going to all end. And it turns out it brings him right back in with, oh, hey, by the way, Alex is alive. And
Yeah.
he's doing fine until the camera was used. Which then makes
Yeah.
you wonder, is that how Slender Man finds people?
Could be.
Because otherwise, it seems, I mean, based on the context of the video, it looked like at first he was living a pretty normal life with probably some kind of a partner. Everything looked like it was fine. But the moment the camera was used, all of a sudden, a little bit of distortion comes back, Slender Man appears. It's almost like he sees through cameras. Or, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of connection with it. I don't know. But that's the vibe I get from that, right?
Yeah. Like, that's certainly a valid interpretation.
Because otherwise, it's not like a week has passed since the tapes and all that jazz. Like a lot of time has passed, and Slender Man hasn't even remotely found Alex.
I mean, that's an open question. That's but this is the cliffhanger episode. It's supposed to raise a lot of questions in you because it's hooking you for season 2.
Quite right. And it sure does. It's a great hook. It's a great hook.
Yeah. Like, this is honestly one of my favorite entries, and it always has been. It's one. It feels the most like a regular horror movie. There's this very casual, like, romantic couple. And it's this brightly lit, modern-looking room, and then there's this Slender Man suddenly there, and there's screaming, running, and like the person who plays Amy, her acting is pretty good. Her screams are very good, and when she says, "What is that?" I love that. I love the way that she delivers that.
Yeah. And Alex just totally calm, like, just go out on the roof, drop down to the street. I'll follow you. Like, you were way too calm for this situation. Oh, Little Richard just subscribed. Thank you, Little Richard. Oh man, it's amazing. Right, I'm gonna pee and grab another beer, and then we'll watch Jula. I'm gonna leave you a chat, so you guys can question him. But he's pretty smart, so be wary.
I'm not used to streams, so I'm the one who's wary. So Carnage Kills only showed up for the for that bit. That's fair enough. I would too. That's my favorite part of season 1. Honestly, my opinion of Marble Hornets is, like, I love it more the more that it goes on. In my opinion, it just gets better and better. Well, season 2 is pretty close to my heart, though. It's hard to top season 2 for me, but season 3 has some great stuff in it. And if you guys have any questions, I'll read your messages. At least saying that Alex banished the camera to the closet forever, and then, oh no! When Boss says, oh yes, I'm gonna give you guys a blow by blow of your own comments. Ellie says, ooh. Carnage Kills says, you, or yo. Chaos Smith submits the operator symbol. That's that symbol is just, that's called the operator symbol. That's not a Marble Hornets thing. It is a Marble Hornets thing, but in the real world, that thing is called the operator symbol. And that's why the Marble Hornets creators named their Slender Man the Operator, which doesn't really come up in the series itself, but that's lore. Anyway, then Carnage Kill says only here a bit. Then Ellie says, camera eyes. And then Owen Ball says, wart. I think it's the final boss of Mario 2. Chaos Smith says, it does. For real. Or France. Chaos Smith says, classic found footage. Carnage Kill says, that bit is over. Gotta go. See you later. Chaos Smith says, it's all fun, but there's definitely a sense of character building and build-up. Yes. And that's, now you're all caught up with yourself. Oh, I didn't even see that I wasn't looking at all messages. God damn it. And then Chaos Smith says, love the lore drop. It's a bit obscure.
For good reason. Because it is obscure. But it's great because it's what I like about a lot of storytelling is sometimes they'll tell you a lot of things a little too much, right? And it can be a little too obvious. You kind of already can figure out the mystery as you go. This is one that is really well done, where clearly they understand a lot more than what they're telling you right away, so it gives you more reason to keep watching. You can make inferences, you can make connections yourself, but nothing is fully figured out, right? You just understand there's a situation going on. Slender Man is involved. There's also some other bizarre Totheark thing. There's a level of teleportation. There's a lot of weirdness going on, right? But you don't quite figure out what it all is, even by the end of season 1. It's just great.
Yeah. But season 1 is primarily there to present the mystery to you. Season 2 will reveal a lot about the mystery, and then season 3 will deal with the mystery.
So before we jump into Jula, I think we need to do a little bit of theorizing here with the community, and obviously with you, because I'm sure you can kind of help out. So I'm really curious because I know Jordan knows the answer. I know the answer, but I want to see what chat thinks. Have you figured out who Maskey is?
There's a number of things I can say on that one.
I'm sure. Well, it's okay because I'm also going to ask you about the operator symbol, but I figured I'd start with Maskey because it's kind of an easier one to start with.
Yeah, but for what it's worth, by this point in the series, you can deduce who Maskey is, and it doesn't take that long into season 2 before they reveal it.
Because Maskey clearly is somewhat important. It's strange, right? Because could this video series be the same without Maskey? No, absolutely not. It would definitely change the tone, like 100%. Maskey is very important.
He's the immediate threat.
Yeah, exactly. At least that we're aware of, right? But it's almost like Maskey is coaxing them into a certain direction, not really to get them killed or anything, but to help them. But it does feel ominous and threatening, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like anybody's saying anything. I left it as chat. I was trying to engage a little bit of conversation, but I don't know.
It's possible that the people who are chatting most already know the answer and they don't want to just give it away.
That's fair. Because if they don't say it, I don't think we will say it, and that's totally understandable.
It is one of the most, I don't know about famous, but one of the most obvious twists in internet horror. Like this is the Citizen Kane, it was his sled kind of twist. Over discussed. That's the one. Like anyone who's seen Marble Hornets knows this twist.
True. And it's annoying, right? Because earlier in the entries, especially the finding of the first mysterious tape from the tower, I think it might have been Lazy, it might have been somebody else, I'm not sure, but they mentioned how Alex looked kind of like Maskey. Which I thought that was interesting, because then it makes you think, if you haven't seen all of Marble Hornets and you get through season 1, you probably have some ideas, right?
Yeah.
But it's just so interesting to think that, because for me, I felt like it's been pretty obvious, right? But to be fair, I mean, you and I do know how all of this goes, but even just by the appearance and certain mannerisms and such, I feel like it's
Yeah.
obvious. I never quite understood why it was so and so, but it's just so interesting, right?
Yeah. Like one important point on this, one of the reasons I don't even think about this twist that often is because it's not much of a twist. Like the identity of the Masked Man isn't like, it doesn't blow your mind finding it out. It's more of just like putting a name to a face. And
Yeah.
the rest of the series deals with, it shows you the significance of that. It shows you why it's important. Shows you who the characters are. We don't really know the characters that well right now. This was just setting up the mystery. It was showing you some of the names and faces, and showing you some of the, actually, like, a lot of the conventions that we can expect to see. A lot of the subject matter that will be dealt with, and even a lot of the techniques that will happen, although they'll see refinement. But the moment that the Marble Hornets did eventually reveal the identity of the Masked Man, which I guess I could have this discussion in season 2, but I guess I can always just have it again in season 2. But the thing is, like, it's revealed pretty early on in season 2, and it's surprising because that's a bit of confirmation that the creators aren't trying to make clickbait with this. They aren't trying to keep you guessing, like, ooh, it's all a mystery. You got to stay engaged because things. But they're like, okay, yeah, this is who it is. Like, let's move on. Let's go on with the story now. It shows that, like, they're interested in telling a story. They're interested in showing showing the characters. Like, it adds a bit of respect, in my opinion, to Marble Hornets as a series. Like, it's not really about the twists. The twists are just big structural sections of the series. They're big milestones to look forward to. But the significance of it will be revealed later down the line.
Yeah.
And it'll be revealed in fairly conventional storytelling.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, luckily, this is one of those that it does essentially give you all the answers inevitably, whereas some other ones, especially some of David Lynch's work, doesn't really give you the answers, like it just kind of continues playing into the mystery of something. It'll kind of give you breadcrumbs, but it doesn't flat out be like, oh, hey, this is what that is, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Marble Hornets, I wouldn't say it explains everything, but I would say it explains most things, which I can appreciate that, inevitably getting to that point, but it's nice to not have it immediately be like, oh, hey, this is that. And it's like, oh, thanks for no mystery and no fun, I suppose.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know, I just, on the question of, like, the mystery of the Masked Man, like, at least as season 1 presents it, and as I said, like, we don't know these characters very well. So whoever it turns out to be, it's just like saying, oh, it was blah blah blah. Like, cool. Like
yeah, it means nothing at this point.
Yeah.
It's exactly it. You gotta have more build up. You gotta have more story elements. You gotta have more intrigue. I think for me that the thing is that Maskey looks like they have some level of similar powers like Slender Man, a level of the distortion, not full distortion, but they seem to have a level of the distortion that could be an effect by them. That could be something they consciously do. We're not entirely sure. But they also seem to be able to teleport really well. But yet again, I think that's because of the manipulation of the door system inside the house, right?
Yeah.
They just clearly have done it enough that they could seem like they're more in control than a regular person, whereas Slender Man is, a supernatural being that can just do whatever the fuck it wants anyway.
Yeah.
So would you call them opposing forces?
The Masked Man and the Slender Man? I don't know about by this point in the story. I do know the actual answer.
Yeah.
Trying to I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to like narrow my knowledge to the first season.
For me, it feels almost like, and I could be
There is
wrong. Sorry, you go ahead.
There's there is a bit of there is a bit of that feeling that because I think of Entry 23 when Jay's in the house and he sees the masked man in the bathroom and he ducks away and Jay gives chase. That gives me like a white rabbit kind of feeling. He's not, as you said earlier, like he's not in control. He's maybe more familiar with this maze than Jay is. But that combined with what we know about Totheark, Totheark is struggling but trying to have a dialogue with Jay. He's trying to lead him to places or encourage him to go places, or maybe even dissuade him from going to other places.
Like a bizarre guide.
So, yeah. Like I think that's the reading I would go with by this point in the story.
I think your connection, or at least metaphor with Alice in Wonderland with the White Rabbit, that's a great way to put it. It is kind of like a mad guide. But the White Rabbit alone wasn't quite the mad guide. It was like the entry for what happened. Whereas the Mad Hatter, Cheshire Cat, those guys, they are more like mad guides, where they're kind of helping, but in an obscure and fucked up way, right?
Yeah.
But you're
I was also thinking
right.
of a bit of the Matrix.
I think yeah. Okay.
I think there's a White Rabbit in there. I haven't seen The Matrix in like a decade.
It's
a very forgettable movie, honestly.
I understand that. Past the first one, I understand that. Absolutely. The first Matrix is good, and then it just kind of... I don't really know. They even have an Animatrix, and I didn't watch that. I was just like, look, it's after a point, like, if it's too much of itself. So the other question I had for theorizing, and I'm sure you probably know the answer, and it's probably nothing exciting, but I was curious. The operator symbol, what's that about? Is it just a symbol specifically for Slender Man, or specifically for the series?
I don't know I think that is one of the actual, like, I wouldn't, like, literally speaking, it's a mystery, but I think really what it is, it's open to interpretation, or like it's a symbol. There we go. It's a symbol in like the literary sense. It's something that people have come up with their interpretations of. In fact, I'm going to look up right now to see what the actual real world operator symbol means, because that'll give some significance. Although I imagine Google is just going to take me to Marble Hornets. Yeah.
It might. Which is funny
operator
because
mathematics.
Yeah, but because it's used in other Slender Man stories.
Okay, it's not mathematics. Never mind. Please keep talking.
I know that it's used especially in games that came after Marble Hornets. I feel like Marble Hornets was the first one to really use it. So it could just be a thing that they came up with that just kind of looked cool and yet again became a symbol of Slender Man in a way. But at the same time, then why is it called the operator symbol? Why operator? You know, that's the thing. I guess I never really figured out.
I know I found real world meaning actually, but I want to suddenly read this. I want to answer your question because I have my own answer to that. But
that's okay.
To a point that Mum brought up. Said that symbol was a zodiac symbol. It actually wasn't. That's a circled plus, whereas what we're seeing is a circled X.
Very similar, but true.
Yeah, I'm just. I seem to recall, and I can't verify this. I guess I'd have to look on Google for a bit longer. But I seem to recall that in the real world, it's a phone thing. That's why it's called the operator. It's a button that you can press to summon or to call the operator when you're using a phone.
Yeah,
and it uses that kind of symbol. I think it may use only one line and not a double X, but just like one line.
Yeah, it would be one line
because the symbol is just
symbol 0.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it is 0, but that symbol is also sometimes called operator, like the operator symbol. And it's my understanding that when the Marble Hornets creators used it in this series, like they had the word operator in mind from its history as a phone symbol. And so I imagine they probably just went, that would be a cool name for the Slender Man, and then they let it create its own meanings over time, because it gets the brain running a bit. By calling him the operator, it implies that, well, like, he operates. It makes you wonder, like, what is it that he operates on? Is he an operator in the surgeon sense?
So I can help you out a little bit here, and I'm sure Mum can too as well, because it's more older phone times, especially when they were more like switchboard operators and stuff like that. The point of an operator was you would press the number 0 to connect with an operator, and the point is the operator would then ask you, what are you trying to connect to? They essentially help you go to where you're trying to go. I suppose that's the only thing that they operate a switchboard, in which case they connect two different points that weren't normally connected.
That's also a good point, because that brings to mind the teleportation. How one of the things that the operator does is, well, he sends people from one place to another.
That would normally not be connected. Exactly. So that makes a lot of sense if that's how the origin of it came about. That's an interesting thought.
Although there's also a more obvious visual meaning, which if you just simply look at the operator symbol, like the double X over a circle, I say double X, but just double lines meaning an X. An X usually means no. Like visually, it means no of that thing. Yeah. And it's like no face. It's saying no face, basically. It's like a head, a circle with no face. That's the most immediate visual meaning that I can think of.
It's exactly what Ellie just said right now. Yeah. That's creepy. You both are on the same wavelength at the same moment. It's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. Because, like we see, Slender Man doesn't really have a face. I think there's a lot of things going into this. I think that all makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Like, ultimately, it is something that can have many meanings, and I imagine that's why they chose to use it. Because there's a lot of value in having that kind of symbol in a series like this. It kind of it's like an indicator for the audience of, like, you got to start thinking. You got to start thinking of possible explanations. You got to start coming up with different explanations, because then that will help them enjoy the series, because they'll be engaging with it. They'll be coming up with explanations for all the characters and all the things that happen.
Chaos also mentioned it. I do apologize. Ellie's right. Chaos technically said it first, but you both are right. You both are right in the thoughts. And it yes, not something I thought about. So it's incredible. It's really incredible. Well, that's wild, isn't it? That's wild. Marble Hornets season 1, everybody.
Yeah.
2 more seasons to go. We're not obviously going to watch them today. That's crazy.
No.
We don't have the time for that. We have other things to do. We've also got to watch Jula and react to that.
Yeah.
But
that'll be fun.
But I got to be honest.
I do have it written down.
Yeah, it's okay. I've pulled it up. So we're
okay. Good.
I believe this is the one, because it's the only one that says Jula Analog Horror. So I'm trusting this is correct.
And how long is I can't see the timestamp from here. How long is it?
It's 24 minutes.
Then that sounds right. That's what the person in chat said. Night, mate.
Yeah. So we'll definitely do that. I'm just gonna say this ahead of time now. So Marble Hornet's like 9 hours ish. I think roughly 9 hours.
Yep.
Isn't that right?
Yep, that's correct.
That's okay. It's gonna take us multiple weeks. So here's the thing. Next week, starting Tuesday, I'm flying back to England because I got to move apartment in April and got a couple of things to sort out in March. But so next Friday there won't be a stream. I gotta take Jenny around sightseeing. We gotta do some stuff. And then possibly the following week as well, she's going to be in town in England for 2 weeks. Obviously, I'm going to go see my mum as well, so Jordan can meet her and everything like that. But just letting you guys know, for 2 weeks, there probably ain't going to be a stream. Okay, there's still videos coming. Still typical stories on Wednesdays and on the gaming channel Tuesdays, Thursdays, and horror games. But it's about it. There ain't no streams at the moment for the next 2 weeks. Just letting you know. Anyway, now that all that admin is out the way, shall we watch Jula?
Sure. I'll try to see it from here. Oh.
That's okay. Have you got the shared screen still up?
Yeah. During the Gulf War, a missile struck a cement factory, tearing open a thing. Whispers claimed it was not merely a chasm, but a breach into an eldritch abyss, while the world focused on Desert Storm. something far darker stirred in the depths of the Veda. Okay, I'm on board with this.
Good point, Siphon Stick. I think you and I are on the same page about the operator symbol. Just wanted to pause and point out that we were told this isn't a found footage. This is an analog horror with found footage elements,
though. Okay.
Because they said it wasn't a found footage, but there is technically found footage. Just saying.
Yeah.
But I like found footage, so.
Deity but God. May God keep us safe from harm. This is the prayer. Sounded.
Civil defenses sounded alarm for danger of the Eastern Province. So I believe at the start they mentioned that there was an eldritch abyss or an eldritch opening of some kind happening in it might have been the east. I can't quite remember exactly the area if it mentioned it, which sounds interesting. I personally love eldritch. I love H.P. Lovecraft, all that jazz. So I'm really interested in this. I like the fact that it got found footage elements. I like the fact that it immediately makes me think of other found footage Arabian videos, especially where people tend to try to investigate haunted abodes, usually for jinns and things of that kind of nature. But what they tend to do a lot is they tend to do a prayer an awful lot, because that's part of how they deal with evil entities inside of a house, or I suppose in an area, for example, that they'll always constantly be praying. Now, what's really interesting though, culture-wise, is so in Asian countries, how they deal with evil entities like ghosts and spirits and stuff that they try to get rid of, get out of a house, is they have to constantly swear at it. They have to be incredibly mean and they have to swear. And it's really funny to watch a video where people who are typically really respectful and nice are just incredibly crass and rude, like running through houses, kicking in doors, and just like being super mean. It's so funny to watch. Whereas like in the Middle Eastern countries, they're very respectful. You know, they're trying to find whatever is causing the problems inside of a house, and they constantly are reciting prayers to absolve the evil. Just an interesting note that I've found watching a variety of videos like this. Welcome back, Night Mate.
Civil defense in the Eastern Province has sounded the danger alarm siren. Please proceed as follows. Stay in a safe place. Stay tuned to...
ألو، السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
وش الأخبار عندكم؟ يا أخي وش السالفة؟
يا رجال الله يسترها بس ما حد داري.
تصدق ودي أروح المصنع أصور.
صاحي أنت؟
ليه؟ وش المشكلة؟
ما شفت التلفزيون.
اوكي.
بدأت بالعمل في جليعدة مما يزيد عن ربع قرن، وما شهدت حالة فوضى واستنفار مثل اللي قاعد يصير حاليا. السماء محجوبة بغبارها الإسمنت الطاير، الكهرباء غير مستقرة، الرؤية في الشوارع شبه معدومة، بل إن اتصالاتنا مقطوعة حتى بالجهات الرسمية. ولا نعرف والله إذا في أحد عارف باللي قاعد يصير لنا، ولأن هذا اللي قاعد يصير لنا قاعد يصير في كل مكان. أساسا ما أعتقد أن أحد متفرغ يفهم الحالة اللي قاعدين نعيشها. الحرب أشغلت العالم. أوف. لازم نبلغ أحد باللي صار، حتى لو اضطريت أرسل لهم أحد ولا أروح أنا بنفسي.
أليف عند كريم استلم.
I hate to have to pause because I'm kind of getting into it. I just wanted to point out that this is called micronom.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was very funny. Like a little nom.
أليف عند كريم. حول سيد أبو سالم. عبد الكريم
مالك لو طال عمرك، معك الرقيب مازن.
وين عبد الكريم؟
والله اني ما ادري يا طويل العمر، احاول اتواصل معهم من اليوم لكن الاتصالات منقطعه حتى مع باقي الزملاء. من بعد الضربه حاولت اكثر من مره اكلم اي احد لكن ما حد يستجيب.
لا حول.
سم سيدي يخدمك بشيء.
طيب كيف الشوارع الان؟
والله ان الغبار لا يزال يخيم على المكان والرؤيه لا تزال متدنيه.
اسمع طيب اسمع، أبيك تطلع الحين أقرب مركز خارج الجلادة، تبلغهم باللي صاير عندنا بالتفصيل، وشوف إذا اتصالاتهم شغالة حاول إنك تتواصل مع المكتب الرئيسي وبرضه اشرح لهم الوضع.
بس سيدي الرؤية شبه معدومة، ما أشوف الطريق.
يا أخي دبر عمرك، تسوق شويش تسوق بسرعة يا أخي، ما هي مشكلتي، إن شاء الله تروح تمشي على رجولك، أهم شيء تبلغهم في أسرع وقت. مو معقول الآن بنكمل 12 ساعة وما حد تواصل معنا، ولا في أحد قاعد يرد علينا أو يسأل عنا حتى. وينك أنت الآن؟
حاضر سيدي، أنا أصلا طالع أتفقد الوضع وحاليا على شارع تلفزيون جليعد.
TV ستريت.
إيه تمام، مرمى من التلفزيون قبل تطلع من الديرة، قل لهم يوقفون الإعلانات حقتهم هذه، ترى ما زاد الوضع هلع إلا كثرة تطويناتهم. خلاص يسكتون، الوضع مكتفي، الناس عارفين باللي قاعد يصير وساكتين. حاول انك ما تبالغون.
بس سيدي هنا المشكلة، مبنى التلفزيون والله لو اني ما ادري مكانه كان ما دريت انها الخرابة اللي قدامي الحين.
So a lot of devastation's been going on. A lot of damage, clearly.
The TV station is playing something despite the TV station not existing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So what's playing the warning?
Yeah, quite right. I mean, the signal's got to come from somewhere. Absolutely. Unless they have some kind of a repeater somewhere else. But yet again, it's like you said, the signal comes from somewhere. Weird. Okay. So for 6 minutes into this, the only thing I'm aware of being a potential problem is the fact that very early on, like within the first 30 seconds, they mention an eldritch something opening up, which I thought was interesting.
I think it was like an abyss.
Yeah. And so now we've gone through about 5 minutes of conversations of a level of devastation and problems and stuff like that, which is good. But there's almost no other mention of anything, just the fact that, you can't really see a lot, things are being destroyed, but there's no evidence of what's doing it.
Yeah, we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
الرجاء الانتباه، لقد أطلق الدفاع المدني بالمنطقة الشرقية صفارة إنذار زوال الخطر. يمكنك الآن التصرف بطريقة عادية.
That sounded like I had a voice modulator on it.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly it's incredibly suspicious for an official announcement.
And also it's telling people you can resume your normal activities, but that's suspicious in and of itself.
Exactly. If everything around you is incredibly low visibility because of cement dust, because buildings have been destroyed, and all of a sudden, oh hey, yeah, just carry on life like normal, with no explanation of what's going on or anything, yeah, I agree with you. Very suspicious.
الو
هلا. كيف الوضع؟ اسمع في التلفزيون الوضع رجع طبيعي.
لا والله ما اقدر اطلع برا كتمت.
عشان معك بخ خربها.
اي بس يا رب يكفي لين نخلص من هالمصيبة.
ونستر.
كيف الوالدة؟
اسمع تصلي. والله الوضع يخوف يا اخي.
ان شاء الله تعدي على خير، انتبه عليها.
وش ذا؟
Knock on a door.
ما ادري، صوت في المطبخ.
Or something falling.
انا اتذكر، بروح اشوف.
ممكن knock. He just happened to have the video camera with him.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm glad he does, because we get to see something now.
It looks good. Feels very analog horror. It's very good. Wonder if it was made in Blender. It's very popular these days. But to be fair, it could be an actual house.
I expect it to be an actual house. We saw something I didn't see.
Yeah, let's see if we can spot that. So he's kind of panning around this maybe kitchen.
Yeah.
Hard to make out the full details with two random dining chairs as well.
Am I seeing someone? I'm a bit far away from the Steam Deck right now. To the left, just to the left of that chair on the left. There's some shapes.
So this looks like definitely a kitchen. I think this is like an overhead fan. And then down here it looks like a hob, typical kitchen area.
Like put your cursor on the 7, the 47, the 1047.
Yep.
That 7. Now move up to like move up to like halfway.
It's like here.
Further. I'm like halfway up the screen.
Oh, okay. So like here.
Like that orange shape that I can't see it very well for you. Yeah, that. What is that?
So this area could be dishes, because this definitely looks like a kitchen. Because you got the overhead fan above a stove. You've got probably a sink area. Could be dishes. Could be a spoon. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but I don't think there's anything too suspicious yet.
I just thought it was like a person sitting far away.
Yeah, I get that.
That's a wall. That's a kitchen. Yeah, I see.
Definitely looks like a kitchen. Let's see. I mean, some people do put their chairs on top of the tables. I can understand that. It's like a cleanliness thing. Restaurants do it. I'm not an issue with that. I'm just checking through. Oh.
Is that?
Maybe that's a shape.
The figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the figure in front of the door.
I guess it could be.
I thought it was a coat. I thought a coat hanging on the door.
Yeah, right. I guess that's what they saw in Panic. So hang on. If we go back, before they panned that way. So we're gonna go back. I'm just making sure that wasn't there before, because if it is, then it's not suspicious. Actually, it's hard.
I can't see.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, we can't see.
Okay, so it could have been there the whole time. We have no idea. Anyway, let's carry on.
من انهيار خزان الاسمنت. ما يزال الغبار الاسمنتي متصاعد، الاتصالات منقطعة وفي حركة غريبة هنا عندي في المركز. كأني قاعد أكلم نفسي حتى أنكر هذا الحقيقة أو هذا الظن أو الخيال. أشعر أن المركز مليان مناوبين، أصوات همس، خطوات، لحظات أشعر أن في أحد يناديني، رغم أني إذا في شيء متأكد منه أنا في هذه الأزمة كلها أن هذا المبنى ما فيه إلا أنا. لعل الأمر من خيالاتي بسبب الضغط وقل النوم. الوضع أصبح.
سيدي حول.
حرر. هلا مازن.
سيدي الآن صار لي كم ساعة أحاول أطلع من الجليعدة، ماني بقادر. حاولت أتواصل معك أكثر من مرة بس ما في فايدة.
صار لي 3 ساعات انتظرك تجيب لي خبر عشان تجي ترجع لي الحين تك تخرط علي. كيف ما قدرت تطلع من الجليعدة؟ يعني صحيح قلنا غبار، بس ما هو لدرجة إنك ما تقدر تطلع من قرية كلها شارعين.
والله يا سيدي الوضع ما هو طبيعي.
كيف ما هو طبيعي؟
طبيعي يمسك شارع وما ألف لا يمين ولا يسار لمدة نص ساعة وما يخلص. شارع في جليعدة ما هو بطريقة بحدرية.
أنت متأكد
That can
الآن
happen.
إنك ما طلعت على الخط السريع
It's a
ودخلت
long
مدينة
straight
ثانية؟
line.
سيدي انا الحين في جليده وجنبي مبنى التلفزيون او اللي
Oh,
باقي
it's in
من
the
مبنى
city. Okay,
التلفزيون.
or the town.
أها.
سيدي حول.
So you are
اسمعني،
like in a loop.
أنت شارب شيء
Okay.
أنت؟
عفوا سيدي.
أنت صاحي؟ وش هالكلام اللي تقوله؟ اسمع، أقرب مركز جنبنا ترى يبعد 20 دقيقة، وبوجود هالغبار راح أعطيك نص ساعة بالكثير. وصل هذا الكلام الأقرب فرع. واضح؟ ما تخليني أطلب منك مرة ثانية.
سم سيدي سم.
يعني بعد كل اللي سوى فيك ينافخ عليك ويهينك؟
وش؟ من معي؟
That sounded like the same voice, honestly.
Yeah.
Just with a modulator.
There's
Oh, cool.
An explosion. Oh, what is that?
الو
رياض،
هلا.
يا أخي بيتنا في شيء.
شلون؟
أسمع صوت أمي تناديني تحت، ونزلت أناديها ما ترد، وبعدين أسمعها فوق، وإذا طلعت ترجع تناديني من تحت مرة ثانية، وآخر شيء تطلع نايمة في غرفتها. تدري عاد حتى بيتنا أحسه متغير. بالعادة أطلع من غرفتي وأتحسس الجدار لين أوصل لدرب زين بعد 5 خطوات. الحين لازم أمشي أكثر من 20 خطوة لدرجة إني أحس إني فوتته، وأرجع مرة ثانية ولا ألقى شيء. يرجع حتى الببغاء صار يتكلم بكلمات غريبة. من كثر ما شتتني جبته عندي بالغرفة. مرات أحس إنه مو هو اللي يتكلم. صدق الوضع مرعب وأنا خايف على أمي بصراحة.
طيب هدي بالك ولا تكبر الموضوع. وش فيها إذا الببغاء تكلم؟ طبيعي كلهم كذا.
يا أخي الببغاء حقنا زينة، أول مرة يتكلم وقاعد يقول كلام غريب.
Oh, it's not a real parrot.
شوي يعيد
Oh, or it is a real parrot.
والله ما في شيء طبيعي.
والله يا عمر ما أدري إيش أقول لك. أنا ملاحظ بلاوي عندي في البيت بس ما بغيت أخوفك. بس
I didn't even notice that too.
Do you also have a parrot?
Yeah.
أشياء واجد. أثاث يتغير مكانه، أشياء تطيح، أنوار تشتغل ببعض الغرف.
Oh, of course. Just, yeah. No, that just always happens, man.
Yeah, it's normal, bro.
عمر عندك أحد يتكلم؟
سمعت؟
We can
هذا
hear it.
الببغاء سمعت وش يقول؟
لا حول.
وش فيك؟
الصوت هذا عندي.
Having a party, bro.
Yeah.
I thought it was a party. Those damn kids. Yeah, it's music. I thought so. You're being video recorded.
قلت لك من معي ماني فاضي لك.
طيب اسمع اللي عندي أول عن رئيسك.
من أبو سالم؟
لا جدتي.
شوف أنا ماني بناقص وجع راس، اللي فيني مكفيني، وترى الدخول على تردد الشرطة جريمة، فاهم؟
لا يا شيخ، أنا الحين مجرم، واللي تسبب لك بطلاقين من عدم الذرية هذا ما هو مجرم.
إيش قاعد تقول أنت؟ إيش قاعد تخربط؟
It's like this guy going, oh, now I'm the criminal.
من أنت الحين؟
ما عليك من أنا، بس خلني أذكرك. مصنع الحديد كان عندهم فحص بالإشعاع، وكان في إلحام، ما يدرون إنه موجود وما انتبهوا له إلا
بعد ما فتحوا جهاز الإشعاع وانحاش العامل يركض وجهاز الإلحام ضرب خزان الديزل.
يا سلام عليك، هذا أنت فهم.
What's going on?
طيب وش دخل الموضوع هذا بطلاقي وبسالفة الذرية؟
What does it have to do with my divorce?
عندهم يقفلون الإشعاع
out of context as a
إيه
funny
بالضبط.
sentence.
هو اللي تفكر فيه، اللي دخلت وقفلته أنت يا بطل بأوامر رئيسك طويل العمر. كان جهاز الإشعاع صح ما تعرضت لإشعاع عالي، بس كان يكفي إنه يصيبك مع
Made him like the Incredible Hulk or something?
شفت؟ لا تلومني لو قلت عنك ما تفهم.
والله انك ما تستحي على وجهك، لا عاد تتواصل مع التردد، فاهم؟
أبشر، بس أبيك تفكر بعد. من اللي خرب عليك نقلك علشان تبقى خادمه المطيع اللي ما يعرف يقول لا؟
اقلب وجهك لا اجي امردغك يا
والله بكيفك، انا علمتك وانت بكيفك.
مازن حول. مازن رد ايش فيك؟
معليش حول.
وينك؟ صار لي ربع ساعة خاطبك وما ترد. تعرف ان الوقت اللي حنا فيه بالذات ما يبي له تسيب. حركاتك هذه لا، خليها بوقت ثاني. وين اراضيك الحين انت؟
ابو سالم.
نعم ايش عندك؟
تذكر حريق مصنع الحديد اللي قبل كم سنة؟
يلا خذ لك. انا وين وانت وين؟ حريق مصنع ايش؟
ابو سالم كلامي واضح، تذكر ولا لا؟
احترم نفسك يا عسكري، اعرف من تكلم وعلمني وين وصلت الان.
جاوبني اول، تدري انت ان الاشعاع كان مفتوح يوم قلت لي ادخل ولا لا؟
لا ما كنت ادري.
كذاب. لو ما تدري كان سوينا الاجراء الرسمي وانتظرنا الدفاع المدني، بس لان شركة الاشعاع جاية من طرفك وما بغيت تتوهق في التحقيق ارسلت كبش مثل يغطي عليك. انت تدري حركتك ذي وش سويت بحياتي؟
يا مازن ركز، الله يرحم والديك، مو وقتك. سواليفك هذه خلها بعدين اذا انتهينا، الحين عندنا مصيبة اعظم.
وش اعظم؟ قل لي وش اعظم من انك تدمر حياتي وتحرمني من الذرية، والحين كل سنة بنتظر وش المرض الجديد اللي بيطلع فيني؟ وش الحياة اللي بنتظرها؟ علمني.
مازن ما هو وقت هالكلام، الحين لازم توصل اقرب مركز وتبلغهم باللي صاير، وبعدين نشوف سالفتك. الحين روح بلغ، هذا امر يا عسكري.
امر مو هي يعني الا هالاوامر منك.
امر لانك انت ولا شيء، من انت غير الاوامر؟ من غير هالاوامر انت وش تصير؟ هي الشيء الوحيد اللي مخلي لك قيمة عندي. خذ الامر وتوجه الان ولا تكثر كلام، وانتهى. بسرعة.
بتوجه.
I feel like all of that is in Mazin's head.
You think that entire conversation was in his head?
Yeah, because at the end there, his boss's voice started to sound modulated as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's stuck in this loop going around and around, and there's this history of radiation with him, so he may be having like a radiation fever dream, for all I know. I don't know about the rest of the plot, but,
yeah.
But I feel like his subplot is that.
Yeah. Or he's already dead.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but you're right. There's definitely... It's quite an interesting interaction, I gotta say. Excuse me. Okay. I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna let chat talk to you if they want to. It's entirely
okay.
Entirely up to
I'll
you
look
guys.
over chat then. Ellie says, does found footage have a bad name now? I know a lot of bad found footage movies get made very quickly and pumped out. I wouldn't say that found footage has a bad name, because this isn't really the appropriate place for me to be saying this, but a lot of horror is bad. And in fact, I would say that most of it is bad. That's just what horror is. So found footage is a type of horror, usually. So they're like, if it's bad, it fits in. Like, people like it for that. And then it's like, to say it a bit more considered, in a more considered way, it's just another subgenre. There are bad examples in every subgenre. And if something becomes popular, then you're going to see a lot of bad examples of that thing. Because popularity, it just raises the frequency. It doesn't raise the quality. And most examples of a thing are going to be bad. Can't remember whose law that is. It's not Poe's law. Is it Poe's law? I don't think it's Poe's law. But anyway, what else we got? Mr. Snyder, the fitness gram pacer test is a multi-stage velocity test that gets more harder as it continues. When you hear the sound ding, you've completed your first lap. Okay, fair enough. Nightmate, hello, I'm back. Hey there, Nightmate. I don't know if you've been watching us do this. I've watched this. I've already forgotten the name, even though it's on the screen right now. Juleda. But they were watching it. I will give this. This is surprising me. This is actually going in directions I didn't expect. I think, well, personally, I would have preferred if it was just camera footage from beginning to end. I recognize what it's doing instead with having phone conversations. I used to do that same thing with Topography Genera, one of my horror stories. So I've kind of, and I've seen some pretty bad stories that have use the phone conversation thing, but I'm still this is going directions that I wouldn't expect it to. I'm digging this, and I want to see how this ends. Okay,
agreed.
Next, Chaos Smith. I've been told my house is in the path of a djinn. Don't know how true that is, though. Consult a djinn expert. Oh.
And not a gin and tonic expert. Very different department.
Owen Ball says very true. Yes, everything's very true. Chaos Smith says, why have my eyes decided to be rude? Having trouble reading? Lol. Me too. Well, that's because I'm sitting about 3 feet away from a small screen, so it's hard to read. And also, I'm drinking beer. I'm somehow already halfway through the San Miguel, and it's surprisingly strong. Ellie Marie says, I want a parrot. That's what you got me for, baby. Owen Ball says, get a job. Ellie Marie says, the true horror was a parting Gen Zers. Ellie Marie says, mostly because people seem to focus on the label analog horror instead of found footage horror. That's a new thing for me. I think that is the trend. The trend is to call things analog horror. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying found footage.
Yeah, but there's a difference. There's a difference.
I mean, like there's analog horror in the sense of like analog is the aesthetic they're going for. Like, they've got a monster that looks like VHS, but the movie itself is not in VHS. Then sure, I could see that being called analog horror.
Yeah.
But I also have never ever seen anything that's fit that description. I'm sure they exist.
I'll introduce you to some. It's okay. There's some really good analog horror out there that really replicates the style of what made analog and VHS technology so good, and
without being found footage.
Yeah, Local 58 is a great example because it's like an older news network, right? And basically things go insane, and they find out that basically whatever is dealing with them hijacks their broadcast and is able to fuck with them that way. But at the end of it, they switch to digital, and everything's fine. And it's that's clever.
If the series itself is the broadcast, then that's found footage. Because found footage is like found objects, where like House of Leaves is found footage because it's an object. It's the object itself is the thing.
But it's a book.
Well, yeah, but it's a book about a book. The book you're reading is a fictional thing, but it's
how is that found footage then?
Well, it's a found object. It would be like because found footage is under the umbrella of found objects, and House of Leaves will be found object. Although it's also about a found footage movie, but it is a story is found object.
Well, so that's where it's interesting, right? Because yet again, like I say, found footage is a very specific thing because yet again, you're finding video footage of something, probably not public knowledge or whatever. I guess is how you're finding like a lost tape, whereas analog horror doesn't always have video elements, which makes some of them very lengthy to watch because it's mostly text with pictures and not video. So then, therefore, it is not found footage. It's a weird. There's a weird argument to be made, but I do understand what you're saying. I do understand.
So analog horror is something that I actually don't like.
Well, I think you would like a fair bit of analog horror because now I'm with you. There's also a lot that's not good, but the idea of it is
I've made some that's not good.
Yeah, it's the fact is it's like the fact that it's like taken in an older style. It's like how I love I like a lot of PSX style horror games because they make me think of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era. They make me think of an older time, right?
Yeah,
It's a
I
nostalgia
love the
thing.
XX horror.
Exactly. It's like a nostalgia thing. And analog horror, granted, a lot of it takes weird nuances with weird faces and a whole lot of dark elements. I've never quite understood why they all replicate each other when it comes to some of that. Instead of creating original cool shit, with just older cameras and stuff, whatever. And they all think that it's always terrible quality. I've never understood that. Like, you and I have seen plenty of VHS tapes and stuff like that. And quite frankly, they're not the worst fucking quality. Like, it's not completely uneligible. You can't read it and shit. I've always found that to be annoying about analog horror. It's always like, oh, it's less than 480p. It's standard definition. They had a level of high definition, all right? It wasn't P because it wasn't made with pixels, but that's an argument to be made because that's a digital representation. And I'm not going to get into the semantics of technology right now. But the fact is, I think it's just stupid. It's always low quality. I'm like, you don't have to do that. You don't just do the tracking. That's fine, like a VHS tape, or you can go even older with an even older camcorder. You could do all kinds of other cool stuff. Why not? Like, analog isn't just VHS. I think it's just a misrepresentation.
Yeah. Sure, yeah. Analog isn't just VHS. Okay, and then plus, I'd probably understand this a lot more if I was sober, or fully sober.
Yeah, but...
And I might understand, if I read about it, then I'll understand it.
Yeah, I get that. Let's see. Local 58 is created by the guy who wrote Candle Cove. True! That is
cool.
True. And it's so cool.
Did not know
because
that.
I quite liked Candle Cove. I thought that was creepy weird. And I think there's a reference to it in Channel Zero, but yet again, Channel Zero is, I think it was made by Sci-Fi, and they tried to do their own creepypasta video series, which some of it was good, and it also gets really weird. But I think they bring it up there. I think so. Oh yeah, but because part of the reason the whole thing happens is because of Candle Cove, so I think that's true. Chaos says, get what he means though. It's the book version, the Forbidden Lost media. They do have the potential to degrade in some of the glitch ways. Yeah, no, of course. I mean, especially, and that's another part of the analog. Is the fact that, of course, they could degrade, or if you, yet again, famously with VHS tapes, you can re-record over them, and they can get glitchy as hell, or you'll get snippets of artifacting of the old footage in with the new, and it gets all kinds of fucking weird. Absolutely. Yeah. But that's part of the beauty of it. The fact that it's like, it's not perfect. It can be really fucking weird and bad and old, and that's why it's so interesting when it comes to the aspect of horror, because who knows what you could put it there. It's really interesting. 144p or 240p quality makes a video scary. No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't. It just makes it harder to watch. It can, but it makes it harder to watch the bigger the screen.
It's just like style never dictates quality. Style is just style. Anything can be good in any style.
Exactly. If you have to go below 480p to make something scary, that's not good, because then it's incredibly hard to watch. It doesn't. You make no. If you have to degrade your quality far too much, you're doing something wrong. You should. I can understand low quality, 720p, 480p. I can understand why people do that. A lot of analog horror does that, and I don't have an issue with that. It's when they go far too low to make it scary. And I'm like, no, now you're just making it so that nobody can fucking see what's going on, and that's what makes it scary. Because that's the fear of the unknown. The whole point is the fear of the unknown is what is a scary concept. It's something we don't know. Maybe something we can't see, can't comprehend, or whatever, but if you have to force it to become the unknown, that's not scary. You know? But that's just my opinion. Let's see. You think... Ellie says, I think Local 58 broadcasts Candle Cove and his other work. Maybe. Like they say it was broadcast on Channel 58 back in the day. Oh! You could be right. I don't remember that, but you could be right. Doey, hi, welcome to chat. Lazy's back in time for probably the end. Well, we still have another 6 to 8 minutes of this video and probably a bit of chat. So, yeah, we'll see. See how we do. Not just video, says Nightmate. Even poor audio quality. No. You're thinking distortion. You're thinking distortion and manipulation, not quality. There is a
and also it's a style.
Difference. Yeah, there is a big difference. There is a big. I mean, Jordan, vinyl. How old is vinyl?
I I don't know the answer to that, but fairly old.
I mean, was it around in the 70s?
Yes.
Was it around in the 60s?
It was around in the 20s.
Okay, so we're talking way beyond analog at that point.
Yeah.
And is
Well,
vinyl...
It is considered analog.
Yeah, but is vinyl bad quality?
Yes. Without a doubt.
That doesn't help. That does not help my argument. If you put it on a vinyl record, you can make it out though, right?
I mean, like, vinyl is amazing, and this is a fascinating subject. A lot of things can sound great on vinyl, but it depends on the mastering, the mixing, the person who's actually doing it. But
okay,
I've heard a lot of terrible vinyls.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. That's fair. But is that because of the quality, or is that because the music is just not good?
It's because of like questionable mixing decisions. Like maybe the person who mixed it is more familiar with CDs and not as familiar with vinyls. Because it's a different environment. You got to use different tools and you got to think in different ways in order to make it sound right. But like a vinyl can sound good, although it also ages very quickly, but it deteriorates.
Yeah, but that's part of analog, right? That's the whole part of the medium. Is it's physical, and it can deteriorate especially with not great care, but even with good care, it could still deteriorate and go bad quality, of course. But when it first comes out, like if you bought a fresh vinyl now, would it sound good? Would the quality be good? If it were, say, made well. If it were made well,
yes.
So the quality would be good. You'd agree.
And like I can even be specific because like God, there's so much fascinating about vinyl because it's literally physical sound waves. If you take a pencil and drag it along the grooves of the vinyl and stick a piece of paper next to it to amplify the sound, just with a paper and a pencil, you can make sound just by dragging along the vinyl. You don't need technology to do it.
And
it literally encoded the sound waves into this physical thing. When it's done right, it sounds like 3D space. You can make out each individual instrument. It doesn't sound like a wall. When it's done right, it is tremendous.
Exactly, and I think you'd agree, not bad quality.
Sure. Yeah. Look, it's not inherently bad quality.
Yeah. Yet again, after a period of time, yeah, it can turn bad quality. It can deteriorate, of course, compared to digital, which doesn't do that because it doesn't have a physical form. Yeah.
Ultimately, it's just a medium. Each medium determines the limits that the artist has to work with. They have to learn the different limits for each medium. And so within each medium, you can produce works which have varying degrees of complexity. And generally, when the complexity is tuned according to common standards, that's when we get something that is widely considered to be good. Good and bad aren't real. You guys are making it all up. But
personal preference at that point.
Yeah. But as far as people use the terms good and bad, everything can be good. Everything can be bad. Every medium can be good. Every medium can be bad. Mm-hmm. It is personal preference. Digital is not better or worse than analog. Vinyls are not better or worse than CDs. They're not even better or worse than MP3s. They're not better or worse than streaming. But like it's just cultural values change. People like what is new. They like what is currently popular. Vinyls are currently popular. There was a time when they weren't, about like the 2000s, in the 90s maybe. Well, the 2000s. And by that point, vinyls they were considered to be old. People didn't like them. They weren't considered to be good. Then they became popular again, and they're considered to be good now. This stuff doesn't actually mean anything. Like I want to watch this thing. I want to see where the story's going.
Let's do it.
على النبي لمواجهة الأخطر
You're right, Nightmate, though. We can agree to disagree. Nothing wrong with that.
اياد
Not to say this is bad. Don't get us wrong. We actually really like
الو
this.
اياد تسمعني؟
الو الو
خير ايش فيك؟
عمر عمر
ايش فيك اياد؟ لا لا بسم برحمة ولا اذكر الله.
يقصون كاميرا عمر يقصون يصير غرفة غرفة
هد قول لي وش صار.
عمر
لحظة بروح اشيك.
لا تفتح.
ايش فيك اياد؟
يمكن هم
مين هم؟
اللي يرقصون
Who's they?
يرحم والديك.
لا تفتح تكفى.
بروح اشيك من عند الباب. دقيقة.
يا رب من؟
ما في احد.
يمكن دخلوا يوم فتحت الباب. عمر
Something breathing?
Sounds like it.
No subtitle.
Yeah, it sounded like backward speech.
فعلا مشكلة. الموضوع يبدو ما هو مجرد ضربة جت على مصنع الاسمنت وحاستنا. الناس قاعدة تختفي. كل من طلع من عند من المكتب ما عاد أشوف. المبنى ما عاد فيه إلا أنا. رقيب نفسه تغيرت نفسيته وتغير كلامه. إيش دراه بالمعلومات هذه؟ بسم الله. مين؟
افتح يا حمود اكسر الباب.
تعوذ من إبليس وارجع مكانك.
افتح الباب اقول لك. افتح الباب. ايش عندك من اوامر يا طويل العمر؟
تعوذ من إبليس ونزل المسدس.
إبليس.
No, he sounds distorted.
أنت براسي غذانيه.
تترك
I'm quite confused. But we'll discuss that afterwards. Ooh.
Incident report in Jula police station. Oh, can you pause it?
Yeah, of course.
Incident details, file number, something name, age 7. Mother corpse was found inside the house. Detective investigating with the child. Further information about the incident. Child statement. The child was in a room when a stranger came in claiming to be her father. He had a notebook for her to draw pictures, and
Whoa!
looks like he hadn't paused it.
I thought I did. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. He had a notebook for her to draw pictures, left with the notebook, promising her to return after talking to her mother. The body position matched the child's drawing horrifyingly. Next page. Continue investigating until the criminal identity is revealed and the awful reasons why this horrible crime are known. The next photos from the child's drawing, which might, horrifying, show the details of the crime very specifically, which brings a lot of questions about how a little child can inflict this amount of fear at a drawing. Wonder if we're going to get to see the drawing. Yeah, wow, this amount of fear. It's a bathtub with legs.
And a head coming out of... either the
shower.
head... Yeah. But if you also... So they're like the end of the shower, and that's where the water, I guess it's blood in this case, would come out of the neck stump. So is this meant to be filled with blood?
Probably.
I would assume so, right?
Now, we'll clarify. Before the page turned, I was about to say, like, I hope we see the child's drawing so I can judge it, because I was going to judge that child for their drawing skills. Oh. No, age 42, deceased. Body was found laying on the ground with no signs of blood around. There also no evidence leading to the cause of death. An X-ray scan was done to the father's corpse, put it attached to the file. Case status.
Oh God!
Would have been great. Oh. This would have been great as a blog.
Exactly.
And I say that as somebody who's written 100 blogs, all fictional. So like I'm not trying to insult it. It's something that I do.
Wait, so
is it X-ray? I think
with
it's
a
like
skull inside
like a skull
the body.
Huh?
But it doesn't look like it's being eaten, like digested.
No, it's like it was inserted there, like, trapped there. It's not. It's probably like a dead head. If I had to guess. 53, married, dead with 26. Okay, I'm guessing that these are probably some of the characters we've been seeing, although we didn't see a little child. But dead with a 76-centimeter long wireless antenna found inside the corpse. Long repeated stares at the sky. But with a continuous unexplained this, the roof of the house, sometimes even spending the night there. Humming strange words such as tasty, and imagines to swallow a pole. What? Hysterical laughing. Mood swings in intense anger. Radio devices were found in the dead victim's room 23. It was the Dark Knight, wasn't it? The guy had the Joker put the radio inside the guy, or the phone inside the guy.
Yeah.
The neighbor's testimonies matched the family's notes and testimonies. Body of the dead man was exposed to MRI. Frequency measured was 20-25 megahertz, more than something percent the safe level. According to this exposure increases the body temperature, can lead to internal tissue burning. Recorded case files will be reviewed to link the cases.
So the device inside is set to a very specific frequency to help cook the inside. The video is still playing. Just put it out there.
I thought that was the frequency of the MRI, but I don't know.
Is that them closing a curtain, I suppose?
Or closing the file?
I think we've hit the end. Just make sure we're not. Yeah, we've hit the end. Okay. So let's do a bit of dissecting.
First of all, I just want to say I didn't find that scary, but I found that really cool.
Yes, agreed. But to be fair, I feel like we are desensitized in an extent to a variety of horror. But yet again, the way this was shown was not in like a super horrifying way. Not to say it's not considered analog horror, I think it would fall under that jurisdiction. I believe that is allowed. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's not scary.
And I should also clarify something that and possibly the problem with the problem with low quality mediums, like going for instance, going for lower quality video and going for lower quality audio. I agree that I get what he means. That it can be really scary, but the problem with it, the risk with it, is that a lot more people know how to make that kind of thing. And if you've ever made a horror thing, then you'll know how this was made. You'll know. You'll look at a shot and be like, oh, I know. I can reason out how he did that. And if it's done with low quality, like a cheap camera, then that it's cheap, so anyone can buy it, and anyone probably has bought it and made their own horror thing with it before. So you've got a bigger audience of creators, and creators are harsh critics.
I try not to be as harsh, but I agree. Sometimes people need to understand when something is not good, right? Because critical feedback is still important. I don't want to say that we're harsh critics, but I believe critical feedback is important, right?
No, I wasn't necessarily talking about us there. I was generalizing there, giving generalization. And because I don't desire to be harsh to this thing. As I said, I found it cool. And I can't say that about a lot of internet creation. But I genuinely found this cool. I've read a lot of internet horror. And also, I guess I've seen a fair few. I read more than I watch. And this, I said this would have done really well as a blog. Just to clarify what I mean by that. Because not everyone knows about the fictional blog phenomenon anymore. But it was like YouTube for writers. You could just make a story and have other people read it. And there's a lot of the written word in this. And it was often read out loud because it was framed as telephone calls and as radio calls. That it's a good decision. And I've done the same kind of thing with stories I've made before. Fuck, what was I saying here? I've already lost track of that. But something like it because there's no actual video to go along with it, I experience it more as how it's written. So I'm thinking more about how the words are written.
Yeah.
But anyway, please talk.
So
take over for me.
So here's my take on the situation. So first off, immediately going into it, and we'll probably pull up the video a little bit to help represent some of the things I'm saying, but I'll also put the chat box up because I believe you guys deserve a fair say as well. I will mute the video though. So we kind of jump in and it immediately talks about how a missile struck a cement factory. So we have kind of a thing to begin with immediately, right? Tearing open a void that defied comprehension. And then it immediately jumps into Eldritch, right? So I'm just making sure we all see that for sure. A breach into an Eldritch abyss, right? While everything else is going on about the world. So inevitably, this factory, the cement factory, it gets destroyed, basically. But an Eldritch abyss, let's start by dissecting that. So,
I see.
So
I didn't realize the cement factory part.
Yeah, which makes sense to the cement dust and why things visibility was terrible and everything.
I'm thinking of Mazin, the character who, I'm pretty sure. I think he went to a steel factory, didn't he? God damn it! I can't remember if it was concrete or steel factory, but he went to a factory with radiation. Yes. I was just suddenly wondering if it wasn't radiation, it was the Eldritch Abyss.
That's right. So yet again, let's continue delving into this. So let's say everything makes total sense. It's connected because you're right. Mazim mentioned that his orders were to enter this factory after it had been destroyed. Right?
I think it was a steel factory.
It could have been, but let's pretend for some reason it's this factory, right? Because I agree with you. I think there's a lot of confusion. I want to kind of clarify things up. Because as Nightmate said, they're the guy who played as Omar. And usually, as people like to jump in here and they recommend certain things, there's a reason behind it. And in 50% of the time, it's because they're affiliated with the project. I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with self-promo. If it leads to something interesting to discuss, I think that's great. but I have to do what we do best, which is discuss something and discuss why something is good, why something is bad, where they can improve, because this is the nature of a discussion point, right? And that's all this is. I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm not trying to be rude. We're trying to have discussions, and I'm trying to give you my input. So please take it that way. Here we go. So Nightmate's clearing it up. There's 2 incidents. The steel factory, as you mentioned, and the cement factory. Which then makes this even more confusing. So there are indeed 2 separate incidents. Why bring up this first incident in the first place? Right? Because for me, the thing that I latch onto the most is that from the get-go of this video, we're talking 6 seconds into this video, it mentions a breach into an eldritch abyss. And for anybody who likes eldritch stuff like I do, there's a lot that comes with that. Mainly madness. Madness is a big one. Fish people, the worship of Dagon is another one. You're talking about Nyarlathotep. You're talking about dreaming gods and everything like that. You're talking about...
That's not specifically Lovecraft is what you're talking about.
Well,
there.
yeah, but yet again, it's talking about eldritch beings, which, no matter what, they're basically otherworldly forces, however you want to look at it, right? We're talking about otherworldly shit.
It's talking about an eldritch abyss. Like I think, well, plus it's whispers of that, but like I can understand because the word eldritch has taken on a more generalized meaning recently, especially with this proliferation throughout internet horror.
Well, yeah, but yet again, H.P. Lovecraft predates internet horror. He was one of the first people to talk about eldritch beings.
But yeah, I'm saying like the word eldritch as it's being used here isn't necessarily the way that Lovecraft used it. Because Lovecraft was like he may not have been the original user of it, but he was like one of the original ones.
One of the first ones, absolutely. But he did have inspiration from another. You're completely right. But either way, they had a very specific way to define it.
But how I take this, like a breach into an eldritch abyss, it basically just means a breach into a mysterious abyss. Like it's basically saying expect mystery.
Of course. There's
no detail there, and I accept that for what it is.
Yeah, and that's I completely agree with you. At the end of the day, because yet again, Eldritch doesn't just cover one type of a being. It covers many different fucking assets of a world. It's like an entire different universe, essentially. Like it's like opening up a rift into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's completely fucking different, even though it's similar. There's a lot of weirdness involved. You don't know how everything works. Completely agree. But that's kind of where it stops. Because yet again, as Nightmate brought up, this was the first incident, which has kind of started off this sequence of events. But it's no longer important. Because granted, there's weird things going on. This is where it begins. And that's it. This is just the catalyst for the things to come. Because yet again, the big one is that we know Mazim's subplot is that they received orders in the past, at one point, we don't know an exact date, of being told to go into a steel factory that secretly still had radiation based on probably some kind of a blast that happened, probably a nuclear detonation of some kind. It makes total sense. We don't know the full details. We just know that for some reason radiation was in this steel factory, right?
Yeah.
So we're assuming probably during Conflict Desert Storm or something like that, there was a nuclear explosion, probably a nuclear missile of some kind. Maybe not a full-on fucking crazy bomb, but enough of a thing to be a problem. And so Mazim, going on based on orders, goes into the factory and does what they're supposed to do. Comes out okay, but then before they know it, they have to probably go through a level of cancer treatment. They have to figure out whether they're going to die or whatever, which is brought up with their supervisor, Abu Salem. Now, Abu Salem is brought up a few times, and they seem to have quite a lot of the crazy stuff going on. It's confusing. It's confusing that there's a lot going on, but at the same time, there's not. Right? Because so after the initial establishing previous event of the cement factory and everything, this Eldritch Abyss and blah, 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 you end up with all this, the cement dust at one point, and there's no visibility. But Mazim on his journey, having to do what Abu tells him to do, hey, get out of Jaleda, get out of here, 30 minutes away, go to the nearest broadcasting you can, and broadcast what's going on, because we're basically cut off from the world. We don't know if what's going on here is happening everywhere else. We want to make contact with the outside world. We're cut off. And they end up going through an endless loop of driving down the same road, but making no progress. Kind of like a Silent Hill way or an endless corridor from Super Mario, right?
Cool idea.
Yeah.
Or like no through road kind of thing as well.
Yeah, exactly. An endless, ridiculous loop which makes somebody go insane, but nobody else believes them, except for those obviously involved, in which case it's only Mazim. But then there's also...
that loop was something I think it would have been amazing if we would have been able to see that.
Exactly. I mean, part of my argument is the fact that early on we get good little video snippets. We even get the one where the dude's in his own apartment and he's hearing noises. We don't know what he's really afraid of. We thought we knew based on the weird little figure we thought was there. I don't really know what that was about exactly.
I think I've made a few more connections, but like that thing that let's call it the coat that looks on that door.
Yeah,
the thing that I thought may have been a coat.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's the same thing that we see later on. With like there's one where
in like a weird little moment, almost like a fake jump scare. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I'll see if I can.
Yeah, I think that's the same entity. And I think that was also it appeared on that drawing that appeared shortly before that.
Yeah, but see the thing about this drawing that appeared, I thought this was like a mutated person because if you look, it looks like this is some kind of a form with a face, and then there's almost like a secondary head, right?
Yeah, but look, I understood what it was. Like it's drawn in a style that I wouldn't normally see, but I think that's just a cultural difference of how drawings are normally done. But it's a figure behind a stick figure.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can see that. Yeah. I'm with you, because, there's the arms and the legs. They're probably holding, like, a flower or something like that. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I can see that. So now if we just frame by frame, go on ahead, and then, oh, no! Yeah. Here's the horrific entity, which you could make very little out of. Like, I mean...
Yeah, I think that... But I think that's meant to be, like, the coat, quote-unquote. Which was a figure standing at the door.
Yeah.
But I think it's meant to be the same thing because it's similar kind of shape.
Is it meant to be the grandmother, the mother person? Who is it supposed to be? We're given a lot of weird things, right? That don't really make sense.
I imagine it's just like one of the monsters from the Eldritch Abyss.
Yeah,
that's what I imagine.
Yeah, but yet again, what monsters? That's my argument. That's my whole argument. What is the problem here?
While I'm still giving the connections as I understand them, there was the somewhat recurring thing of the music. We heard the music, and on one of the video things, we saw a glimpse into a room of people dancing. And
that's true.
And he also saw something. I think you said he saw someone filming him.
It looked like somebody with a camera. I mean, to be fair, it might not have been a camera, but yeah. I'll see if I can find out. Hang on.
But then
it's right around
later on, I think during one of the phone conversations, there was a mention of like, don't you see like the dancing people? It was said to be like they are the monsters themselves. The dancing people are the monsters, which I think is cool. Not that scary, but really cool.
So here we go. So peering through the doorway, there's people dancing. Maybe the room is on fire. It's hard to say with the colors, but it looks like it's kind of a flickering of some kind. But
it looks like they're dancing around a campfire or something like that.
Maybe they got tambourines or something. Looks like they're doing some kind of music, having fun. We'll just keep tabbing through. But then you go down here.
Yeah, there is a camera there.
It does look like they have a camera. There's so much weirdness in this. And I don't understand how a lot of it is connected. Now, granted, the thing about Eldritch stuff, especially, one of the biggest things about Eldritch anything is madness and insanity. Now, if you want to say a lot of people got a level of insanity because of the Eldritch Abyss opening and everything, I can completely understand.
Mazine definitely did.
Yeah.
Mazine definitely did.
Absolutely. Because madness takes form in many shapes, So I can understand that argument. I don't understand what's going on in this analog horror.
The rest of the story is
confusing. I mean, granted, I understand the Mazim subplot. I understand that because we kind of see the levels of madness going on with him and his boss, and I get that. But the rest
I think I can follow bits and pieces of it, or even like I can probably follow substantial chunks.
Yeah.
But,
I can't piece it all together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great fun fact, Nightmate, about how Abu means father of. Another fun fact: I used to work with a number of guys from Pakistan when I was on a contract job, and they used to call me Nathan Bai, and I found out that Bai basically means brother in their language, and I was like, that's really sweet. That's really nice. They consider me like their brother, even though we don't have the same religious values and everything like that. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, so fun facts. Doesn't change the story though. Doesn't change the story much. It might give us a little bit more context about who Abu Salim. So he's the father of Salem. Don't know who Salem
I
is.
don't think we meet. Yeah, I don't think we meet Salem.
We meet Mazin. We meet Abu Salem. We meet another one. I forget the name. Oh, Omar. We meet Omar. Which
and that's
you said,
also,
yeah,
that's
their
played
voice,
by Nightmate.
which I thought that's great. The fact that this is something you're involved with. So here's the thing: the quality of it's nice. There's a lot of good aspects to the story. As a whole 24-minute thing, it feels like it's a lot of stories in one, right? Which is which at least if there was a bit of a distinction of that, that'd be cool. But no separation. It just feels like there's things here that don't feel like they need to be here. Like you feel like certain bits can be removed and the story wouldn't change, and that's not great. That's not great. You want everything in a video to kind of make you think ultimately about the whole picture, right?
I mean, but it, like, in my opinion, I agree with what you're saying here, but I suspect, and this is itself coming from a position of ignorance, but I suspect that there may be a cultural difference. There may be this strikes me like a maximalist story. It's a story with as many elements as possible, and it's like there are a lot of novels that are like this, and I can think of other examples like Homestuck is a maximalist story, but where
there's too much going on, but over a period of time
that's
it
the
would explain
style.
it. Yeah. Well, I understand that, but yet again, that is explained. That is explained over time, ultimately, which is fine. Whereas with this,
Homestuck's a bad example.
Well,
in Homestuck, they do explain everything, but there are stories where they don't explain everything, where it's more trying to convey the sense of like there's a whole world around you that you're never going to know all the details.
No, you're quite right. I mean, Homestuck is a good example when there isn't the rest of it to go off of, right? Because yet again, I mean, when you and I were, I remember you had me like read a fair bit at the start of Homestuck, anyway, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things in this world going on, but the fact is, yet again, it does go somewhere. And granted, you're right, it doesn't all go somewhere from the get-go. It throws a lot at you to kind of dissect and maybe try to keep track of, because it's a lot. You're completely right. It is maximalism, absolutely, and that could be what's going on here. There could be more explanation in future logs. I don't know, because yet again, as Nightmate said, that this is really new. This came out recently. I don't know if there is anything else to it yet, and if there is going to be more entries that help define and explain certain things and connect storylines, great. But as a standalone, I mean, this is 24 minutes long. That's a fair amount of stuff going on in a short. It's tricky.
I was unclear on whether this was standalone or the start of a serialized narrative. Like, is this just part one of a greater story?
Yeah, in which case, just say that, right? But it doesn't say that. It's literally called Jula Analog Horror. That's the name. That's the name of the video.
Does it say anything in the description?
We can have a look, actually. Yeah, let me see. If it does, I can try to translate it.
Can't read it. Okay.
It won't let me click Oh, hang on. We're getting something. Hang on. It's taking a minute. Can I translate any of this? Gelada, a name that everyone fears, and a town. Oh, you guys can't see it. Oh, God, it doesn't even pop up at all for you guys. I'm sorry.
Just read it out loud.
A name that everyone fears, and a town that people refrain from mentioning the name of, let alone thinking about visiting. Remember, this is translated, so it's not going to be perfect English, so interpret it as you do.
Yeah.
An entity that reminds people of their worst nightmares and most terrifying fears. It is not just a forgotten point in our world, but a restless darkness. A darkness darker than the absence of the pit, The swallowed up souls who thought they were beyond the reach of darkness. A lot of use of the word darkness there.
It's saying it's darker than hell, basically.
I would think so. Okay, just trying to wrap up. It's okay. You can hang out. I'm just trying to do this. Her breathing is heavy, and her breathing is heavy, and her silence carries the echo of stories that no one dared to complete. I wonder if Jade is meant to be a person as well. Then could be an eldritch being. Hard to say.
It could have been like her in the sense that like sometimes you can call a place her, or like call a ship her.
Yeah, like a personification of a person. Yeah. You could be right. You could be right because it does say, if you step foot on its land, know that you're not safe from its secrets nor from yourself.
Okay, that I think that does actually offer some clarity. So this is almost I suppose this is kind of like an anthology story of different people who find themselves in Gelada, and Gelada has this quality where it possibly like all these monsters may be past victims, past people who died here.
I would think so. I would think so. I mean, why bring up the fact that there were 2 horrific events if they weren't in some way connected? I completely agree. There we go. I was about to say, I'm trying to click full screen.
This might be an instance where we failed to read the description first. Well, like that still just that offers a bit more context. It doesn't explain things, but
yeah,
it would have set the tone.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It does set a tone. It feels a bit akin to how like Twilight Zone and things of that kind of nature have horrific stories that aren't all connected, but they are all part of and I don't know if anthology is the right word, a collection, I suppose.
You want to know what it made me think of first and foremost, and I cannot remember the exact name of this because it's Japanese, but it's that train station that it's like a famous myth, this the dark, a ghostly train station, that a haunted. Like you hope that your train doesn't arrive at that station because there's no returning from that station. That's a place. And plus I think Childart or
Chilazar.
Yeah, Chilazar has made a game based on there. It starts with a K. I remember that, but like it's an actual concept. Chilla didn't invent that concept.
Yeah. Well, it's like a Inunaki tunnel, right? It's based on an actual story of a tunnel that essentially should be haunted because it's of a cut-off village that essentially ended up being full of like vagabonds and stuff like that, like a lawless town essentially because the tunnel gets cut off, which is why it's a haunted tunnel. Or maybe not Shinkansen. I mean that's an actual train line. That's not quite a horrific thing. But I know what you're saying, like the rumor of the Teki and stuff.
My point being, like, this is a haunted place that, like, on the border between hell and the real world, or it's like that, and we're like, I see what it's going for. At least if I'm reading it correctly.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of good potential if this does continue carrying on telling whatever the story is, and maybe making a little bit more sense out of it. Granted, you could be right. It could very well be a cultural thing. It could very easily be something that we're just not fully interpreting. I completely understand that, and I'm in agreement. I just feel like that there's plenty of this that doesn't quite make sense. Another annoying thing is the fact that Mazim goes on this endless loop journey, and yet somehow still ends up at his boss's apartment to kill him. And yet trying to leave town from the TV station, which, by the way, we know the TV station is destroyed based on what Mazim says, but it's brought up the fact that people can't leave from the station, the TV station. So for some reason, that point is that point is very important. It's somehow part of whatever this maddening loop is. But I don't think that's where the initial missile hit for the cement factory. Because yet again, we don't know where the cement factory was. That opened up.
We don't have much frame of reference for geography.
Exactly. Like if it was explained that the TV station was built on the ruins of the cement factory, that would make a fair bit more sense as to why there's a lot of weird stuff going on because of the area of the TV station and this Eldritch Abyss connection. But then there's
Yeah.
also the mention of the fact that, Mazim goes into a steel factory and there's radiation. There's a lot of things that just, maybe you have to kind of figure it out yourself. But I feel like not enough information was given, right?
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of plot. There's a lot of information conveyed. But in in terms of when it comes time to show us actions, there's not enough clarity on who we're seeing or where they are, or there's not much frame of reference.
Yeah.
At all in
Yeah.
in this video.
Or there's like you said, that there's plenty of phone conversation, which I don't have an issue with because that kind of gives a level of exposition. It explains an amount of stuff. But it also doesn't explain everything truly. We don't know what's actually going on. We understand what has happened. We don't know what's actually going on besides the fact that there is cement dust everywhere, obscuring vision. Mazim, for some reason, can't leave Juladea. That's essentially all I understand. And the fact that Abu Salem, I wouldn't call it trapped in his apartment, but he believes he's the only one in his apartment, but there's bizarre things going on.
Yeah.
How is that relevant?
Yeah, and it was another thing where it would have been great to see it.
Yeah, exactly. We get the little video snippet, which I guess is kind of weird, but we don't know exactly what he saw, what he thought he saw. He doesn't really say anything about it. He just has a little freak out reaction in the kitchen, and we assume it was because of the coat thing that he saw. That's the only difference we saw. It wasn't the chairs. Like, well, there was no explanation. He doesn't talk to people in a way that you would hope people freaking out in a situation would talk, right? Where they're just over-explaining things.
Yeah, and I don't know whether I should be bringing up every single point of confusion that I had. Because some of it may have been stylistic and intentional, and even the stuff that wasn't intentional is I don't know. I've been criticized before, and it's made me just want to double down. But I'll just say, for the sake of saying, and this may be because it's analog horror rather than found footage, but the connective thread of this story is either confusing or non-existent or ambiguous, maybe. Because like why are we being shown these exact stories? Who's cutting between them? Who's choosing for us to see this one first, and then we cut to this scene, and then we cut to that one? I imagine that the only answer is it was the creator who decided that. But is there an explanation in the story? Is there?
It's hard to say.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's an open question of if a story needs that kind of thing. I happen to side pretty strongly with Mark C. Danielewski, like author of House of Leaves and also other books. But he believes that yes, every story needs an explanation for them. There needs to be, if the audience is finding out information, there needs to be a context for why we're finding out or how we're finding out the information. There needs to be a narrator.
There needs to be something that kind of even trying to explain it makes more sense than zero explanation at all, right?
Yeah.
Even if we don't fully understand something, you want it to at least make a level of sense that you could interpret something from it.
Yeah, and after having said that out loud, like I definitely I don't think every story needs a narrator, but there's something to the spirit of that sentence that is what I'm trying to get at. Like,
yeah,
there needs to be a clear an arc for the audience, like the audience's experience of watching this thing from beginning to end.
There need to be pieces of a puzzle, but the puzzle pieces have to inevitably fit together.
Yeah, and
they don't have to fit together perfectly. They can fit together via a variety of interpretations. I think that's absolutely fine. But I don't understand these puzzle pieces and what they're trying to say. Because yet again, we have pieces of stories. I don't feel like all the stories are connected. Which makes sense if they were separate videos. But they're not. If you put all of them in one video together, there has to be some reason for it, right?
Yeah, precisely. And the description of the video seems to imply that the connection is simply that they're all in
in the
forgetting
same
name.
town, right?
Judela, yeah. And like I guess like ideally I'd like some confirmation from the creator or at least from a Nightmate. Nightmate on this.
Exactly. I mean, I think the video is good. I think there's a lot of very interesting ideas that went into it, especially storytelling elements. I think that there's plenty of good stuff about this. There's plenty of horrific elements to it. There's a lot of things that can be scary about it. I think it's good for what it is. I just don't understand what it's trying to tell.
Yeah, like if there's going to be more of the story, I want there to be more of the story.
Exactly. In which case, just let us know that. But if there isn't, then it's confusing. And maybe that's just the nature of it. Some things are just confusing, right?
Sure, yeah.
But I wish I knew more. That's okay. Well, it's been really interesting to be able to dissect something with you. I've really enjoyed this, and I'm sure. I mean, naturally, after a little break hiatus that we're gonna have, I'm sure we'll jump into more Marble Hornets, maybe even other things too, especially based on whatever people say.
Yeah.
But
sounds good.
I think it's time to wrap up. We've been a good 3.5 hours. It's also quite late for you, and I think it's a good time to wrap up.
Yeah, it's past midnight.
Exactly. I think it's a good time to wrap up. This has been a fantastic little journey, finishing Marble Hornets Season 1, having a good conversation with not just my brother, but with the various members of chat here. This has been super fun. We even jumped into an Arabian analog horror. Unbelievable little time. A fresh one, fresh on the market. See if you can figure out the mysteries of it and explain it to us. I'd actually really appreciate that. That'd be really fun. And we'll probably come back and talk about it if you really want us to. But either way, I've been Nate at Night. This has been my brother Jordan. We've had a wonderful time with you, and we sure hope you have too.
Yeah.
And we'll see you.
Thanks for having me, everyone.
You're always welcome. You're always welcome here. It's been fantastic. We'll catch you guys another time. Bye-bye.